it's weird right now because Lucy stood there like a stalker over the screen just looking at me and Joe laughing. I think she's waiting to see his reaction. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Joe and Liam show. Hopefully Lucy will join us later to fulfill the thruple, Joe. Potentially, but she's cleaning the kitchen right now. That's right. Well, clean itself, please. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You guys are incredible. If you haven't already, please make sure you smash all those magical buttons. Hit that like button if you like the content. Smash subscribe if you haven't yet. And hit that bell notification icon if you want to be notified every time we go live. Or drop a new video. And sometimes we're happy and cheerful. And sometimes, like tonight, both me and Joe are completely, utterly fucking seething. Okay? We'll get into it. I'll read the article. We'll talk about why this is a problem. However, up until literally today, I would say that I would give GW a 7, 8, maybe even a 9 out of 10 for the 10th edition previews, for the launch, for what they're doing, for all the work they're putting in, for the fact that they sort of sounded like they were listening to us, for the fact that they make changes that I think are positive changes to the game of Warhammer 40k. Today, however, is not one of those days. Today is one of those days where we call out Games Workshop for being a bunch of cunts. And there's no other way of saying it, right? First 3 minutes, that means YouTube's now going to restrict my monetization because I've used that word. But there is no other word for it right now than a bunch of cunts. Why I say this? Because Games Workshop has, within the last year, within the last 12 months, 13 months, been selling plastic Horus Heresy kits, plastic Sycarans, plastic new Vindicators, plastic Kratoses, plastic Contemptors, plastic this, plastic that's plastic Spartans. I know so many people that bought plastic Spartans. With the, you can also use these in your game of 40k, usable in games of 40k as part of that advertising. Until today. We're going to jump straight into it. We're going to say thank you to Nordos for a gifted membership and thank you for Sticky Monkey for the gifted 5. We have started the month with a brand new fresh monthly goal right now. You guys smashed it last month. Hopefully we can do it again. Thank you so much for all your support. You guys are incredible. We really appreciate you beautiful people. I would love to hit the membership goal really, really quickly. And then also we talk about Super Chats. Ben, Super Chats 350, thank you. It's not so bad a day because I get my nights. At least, I mean, it's very, apparently, Heresy Legends, unless
it's a big unless it's worth lots of money.
Thank you for the Super Chat. Don't forget 10% of our Super Chat revenue does go to charity as well. And I think mental health charities are important around this because there's some people that are pretty upset by this. People have, in the last 12 months, spent a lot of fucking money on last chance to buy resin Contemptors because they've got the Legion symbols all over them and they've just gone to this really fucking shitty £25 body but you use plastic arms and legs jobber now, which it basically costs you the same as the old resin one, but you get less of a filigree on it for your particular Legion now. Let's be honest, right? I'm so glad I got Joe next to me tonight because Chaos players have been absolutely, completely and utterly fucking shafted by today. We're going to jump into it. We'll get there in just a second. Dave B, Thunder Cunts, 100%. Absolutely cock-gobbling Thunder Cunts, a lot of them at the moment. I am fucking angry with Games Workshop today because this is a shit move, right? Peter, thank you for the gifted membership. Right, we're going to screen share. We're going to read through the article, okay? And this also, what this article has done is it has given me the absolute, complete and utter confirmation that the people at Warhammer World, the people at Games Workshop in London are completely fucking clueless as to how the rest of this hobby works and how the rest of the community plays this game. Legions and Legends, Warhammer, the Horus Heresy models in games of Warhammer 40,000. Apart from that's not entirely true, because half of this doesn't even include models that are Heresy models, and other Heresy models are perfectly okay as well, if you're a Knights player, apparently. So even the title's already bollocks. In the fallen age of the 41st millennium, the battles of Horus Heresy are stuff of distant legend. The forces that once fought over the fuck that, right? In years past, many war machines of the Horus Heresy have received rules for Warhammer 40,000. In the new edition, these units will return as Legends of the Horus Heresy. Still very much usable, not really, in your games, but leaving competitive tournament battlefields to the core Warhammer 40,000 miniatures range. Using Horus Heresy models in the new 40k, the Warhammer Design Studio are creating free datasheets for the Legends of Horus Heresy, even including the elusive Chaos Kratos. You're free to use these rules in your games wherever or however you play them, not entirely true. For both narrative campaigns and match play games, not entirely true, because if you're playing match play at tournaments, you can't use it. The following datasheet work for Space Marines or Chaos Space Marines alike. The latter receive an army rule card in addition, which shows you which keywords to switch out. We won't look at this, boring. The only place you won't be able to use these datasheets is in a competitive environment. So if you're playing competitive, which is match play, basically, you can't use it, Jay.
Yeah, well, basically that's what every event that Games Workshop runs at Warhammer World.
Yeah.
always uses chapter approved.
Particularly at official Warhammer 40,000 tournaments, it's important to also note that they won't receive changes or balance updates as the edition develops. And that what a lot of people are missing, a lot of people are going, I don't play tournaments, it doesn't bother me, I can still use my models. They've moved them to Legends, that means that by the time the next edition comes around, they fucking flat won't support them at all. That's part of the problem. Legends is them getting sent to the fucking incinerator. Legends is the start of the process to get rid of these models support altogether. So this has really fucked me off today because they have sold a whole bunch of kits over the last 12 months under the pretense of you can use these in 40k, apart from now you can't. Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah, we've got your money. We're done now.
We can even be bothered to make the data sheets. We can do that. We're just not going to support it. Fuck you. Why would we? Why? And the other thing is, this is just the stupidest fucking business decision ever, because this just means they flat sell less models.
Yeah.
And it also means that they just piss off a huge customer base. And as we're both Chaos players, I have World Eaters, Joe's got Black Legion. We recently have 2 plastic built and painted Leviathans for the World Eaters. Can't use them now. Fucking can't use them. Joe has got a lot of stuff. We'll get into this in just a moment, right? Right. This is an excuse, by the way, and this is dog shit. This highlights another practical reason for these changes besides the divergence in setting. Balance is really important for many players, and us too, especially for competitive events. You probably noticed that Warhammer the Horus Heresy range has been expanding recently and will continue to do so. This means that Space Marines and Warhammer 40,000, who are already, let's be honest, spoiled for choice, but Chaos aren't, have been receiving even more options to pick from, and balancing this ever-increasing range of miniatures for competitive games has become unwieldy, apart from for Chaos players.
I mean,
for Space Marine players, I get it. 97 data sheets is extortionate, but you've kind of brought that on yourself.
Yeah, well, let's be honest. If you've read the previews, balance is not a thing that exists in 10th edition.
No, I mean, well, yeah, quite.
Yeah.
The Legends of Horus Heresy rules ensure that collectors who have these models can still have rules, and those players who want a balanced living game can have that too. At the same time, this also makes it much easier for newer players waiting to attend their first event to work out what they can actually put in an army and who and where those rules are. All in all, we think it's the best compromise. Fucking horse shit. Just do your job and make some fucking rules for them. Actually, you have made rules for them. This is my problem, right? Yeah. It's worth saying there are several armies with Horus Heresy era models that are older marks of the contemporary Warhammer 40,000 units, like, for example, the Land Raider. There won't be specific rules for these, but you should absolutely feel free to use the appropriate Warhammer data proxy. Just counts as is apparently acceptable at competitive events. You can do counts as, you just can't use actual models because we can't be bothered to keep the rules up to date. Exceptions to the test of time. There are always exceptions. The war machines of the Knight households and Titan legions have endured for 10,000 years, as has the Heresy stuff for Chaos Space Marines, Joe. Yeah. And is in all the narrative.
Yeah.
Again, let's talk about the models in just a second. And these models will continue to receive supported rules for 40k in downloadable Imperial Armor Index, and they will continue to receive balance updates going forwards. So they can do it when they can be asked, basically. The forthcoming plastic Carassus Knight Lancer kit is case in point, because otherwise they'd miss a big opportunity to sell loads of them. Loyal Imperial Knights and wretched Chaos Knights alike will soon be able to fill these leggy Lords of War, because they know for a fact that there's a significantly higher portion of 40k players buying these than there is Heresy. Yeah. And that's why they've got 40k rules. Wait. Not because Knights need them, because they want to sell more kits.
Because money.
Because money, basically, right? Yeah. The Custodians are another exception, because their army wouldn't function without Horus Heresy. The Emperor's Guardians have the same advanced machinery for thousands of years, maintaining Calidus grav tanks and Aquilian Terminator armor in pristine condition. Auromite doesn't degrade, and let's face it, they've been sitting on their hands for the last few millennia, unlike the never-ending attrition endured by the Space Marines. Breathe for a second. Here's a guide for the upcoming Legends of Warhammer of the Horus Heresy we'll cover, right? This fucking honestly... This top list is a list of stuff that's going. This bottom list is a list of stuff that's staying, right? Let's start with the stuff that's staying. Custodians, units, and Imperial Knights.
Well, because they
sell a lot more of them.
They sell loads.
Yeah. Why? Because Custodians players have got a very limited range, so they sell tons of Adeptus. This has been done on sales, flat, right?
Well, if you ever seen a Custodians army on the table,
I don't spend hundreds of hours and dollars building and painting beloved personal models just to have them go to Legends and become unsupported over the next year. That amount of investment should guarantee
and then Imperial
years
Knights,
of use.
because they've got like 3 Knight kits that they sell for Imperial Knights, and now they can have another fucking 6 or 7 that they can sell at the extortionate Forge World prices, because Forge World resin is more expensive than any other resin in the world ever, despite the fact that it's significantly shitter fucking quality. Legends of the Horus Heresy units, Leviathans, that everyone had forever anyway, and people were replacing in plastic because they said you can use these in 40k.
Yeah.
Contemptors.
So the Leviathan Dreadnought is my single most favourite Dreadnought ever in the history.
Me too. It's literally my favourite Dreadnought.
And the Contemptor Dreadnought is a very close second.
Yeah, and pisses all over. Even the box Dreadnought Contemptors have to be, quite frankly. And the Derrideo, I mean, no one really cries about the loss of Derrideo because it looks stupid.
Right. Once we get to the end of this, what ends up. No, I'm gonna say this now, right? A lot of this is based on sales. They don't sell, right? So we're not going to supply them to you. The reason why they don't sell is because the rules have always been shit. You know why people have been taking less Leviathans and less Contemptor Dreadnoughts? It's because they're a nightmare to fit in your army to put on the table.
Because of CP.
Because of the CP cost. So if they'd taken that away and given them good rules in 9th edition, this is not a problem that we'd be having now.
Yeah. Right, okay, so Leviathan, new plastic kit. Contemptor, new plastic kit. Derideo, I think we've had confirmation this is coming as a plastic kit.
Yeah,
right? Kratos, new plastic kit. Sold as usable in 40k. Sicarian, new plastic kit. Sold as usable in 40k. Spartan, new plastic kit. Sold as usable in 40k. Cerberus and Typhon tanks. Typhon tanks, new plastic kit. Sold as usable in Warhammer 40k. Certain variants of the Land Raider, the Vindicator, and the Whirlwind. Xiphon Interceptors, Fire Raptors, Storm Eagles, and Stormbirds. Legion support weapons, Fellblades, Falchions, and Mastodons. Javelins, Dreadnoughts, and Deathstorm drop pods. Who cares? Terex pattern termites. This one.
Hang on, does this mean that? Because it just says dreadnoughts.
Javelins, dreadnoughts, and Deathstorm drop pods.
Is that? Oh, dreadnought drop pod. Is that what
I assume so. Dreadnought and Deathstorm drop pods, just worded badly because you know they're so good at English and everything they fucking do, right? And then we've got this, and this is the bit that really fucking wound me up as a Chaos player. Decimators. First of all, GW, not a Heresy unit to start with, right? Decimators. Greater Blight Drones, guess what? Not a Heresy unit. Blood Slaughterers, not a Heresy unit. Greater Brass Scorpions, not a Heresy unit. Khitan Ravagers, not a Heresy unit. The Assault Claw and the Dreadclaw Drop Pod, both not Heresy units. A lot of these units as well in the narrative for Warhammer 40k.
Technically, the 2 drop pods are Heresy units. But in every book ever released by Games Workshop about 40k Chaos Space Marines, how do they get from their spaceship to another spaceship?
Boo-hoo. My Chaos Marines lost rules for their broken Forge World units. You should be happy that the studio let you keep your second wound. Honestly, I'm happy what made it to Legends.
Going
worse.
It's just a massive, giant fuck you.
And they're like going like, oh, but we didn't sell that many for the last edition. So do you know why? Because the rules are terrible. Games Workshop knows that rules drive sales. And if they say, oh, like if it's a good model, people will buy it anyway. Say that to the people. Like, say that to Dark Reapers and Morgan Ra, because let's be honest, they didn't sell either.
I don't know if Ginger's comment was muted because I had the computer muted. So hopefully she's already read that one out because fuck him.
Bugger me. I'll throw my 2023 Hobbypot Relic Marine Army in bin, but that's okay. Plus I've remortgaged at 8% and sold my youngest child. So we'll buy lots of boxes of Leviathan. At least that's what GW expect.
Going forward, new units, thanks for the will for the 10. I'm not even reading Steve, not giving it the time of day. The Horrors Heresy will only receive Warhammer 40,000 rules where it would be appropriate. In other words, where a unit might be considered at least somewhat common in the 41st millennium. The Legends of the Horrors Heresy data sheets will be available for... do you know the big thing that gets me about that? I'm not even going to fucking keep on this bastard screen. The big thing that gets me about this, Joe, on the whole, is simply the fact that they marketed these as usable in 40k for the last 12 months.
Well...
I know people, Dats and Des I think is in chat, who recently, within the last week, has bought and taken delivery of his Khitan to play in 40k.
Well, what time did that post go live?
I don't fucking know.
Like 6 hours ago, wasn't it? So lunchtime. Let's assume it went live at 12 o'clock today, right? So up until 11:59 and 59 seconds, right? Games Workshop have been selling all that stuff under the apprehension that you'd be able to use it in 10th. There are, I mean, if you want to journey through the mind of many people, go to Facebook Chaos page.
Oh my fucking god! But they're justified.
There are people there who have gone, I really wanted to do Black Legion, or I really wanted to do Iron Warriors, or I wanted to do Night Lords for 10th edition. So I've gone and I've bought three of the Contemptor Dreadnoughts. I bought 2 of their Leviathan Dreadnoughts. I bought a Spartan. I've bought the Planes. I've bought all of this Forge World stuff because they're the only ones that supply Legion-specific stuff for the people I'm going to use. I can't wait to take them to Warhammer World events, or I can't wait to take them to LGT, and now they can't. But Games Workshop won't refund them.
No. Well, I talked for ages. I wanted to buy Dreadclaws for my World Eaters.
Yeah.
And I wanted to buy Dreadclaws for my World Eaters to use on the channel. I also wanted to take them to events. And I only have waited because 10th edition's coming, and I'm like, a whole new edition's coming. Who knows what they're going to do? Who knows what their rules are going to be like?
Yeah.
What I didn't envisage was that they were just going to flat remove them as an option, basically. And I don't care. Games Workshop's Facebook team keep going, you can still use them. They do not understand how even casual gaming works, especially if you're playing casual pickup gaming. Casual pickup gaming wants to play the most balanced version because you don't know the person you're about to play. So the best way that you can introduce some form of balance is by playing the latest balanced version. So they're not going to allow Legends. I don't know how many times, even in the whole of 9th edition, how many times did you see people playing with Legends units? How many times did we use Legends units on stream?
Never.
We don't.
We don't, because it's not match play.
It's not up to date.
And if you go to any match play event, even ones run by Games Workshop or ones sponsored by Games Workshop, or even just one-day RTTs in your local
At least
village
my
hall.
Dark Angels are still good.
Wow. Really? Did you see their faction rule?
Like, so even stuff that's run in little village halls that aren't supported games by Games Workshop, the TO goes, I don't want any stress, I don't want any hassle, no Legends. Just the straight game as it is, right? And Games Workshop follow the same rule, no Legends at their events because they always follow match play. So when Games Workshop say, don't worry, you can still run it, no.
You can't. Craig the Celt says, is it worth doing a call to arms for mass complaints to GW? There's people within Games Workshop at Warhammer World who have spoken to me, who have asked us to make a big deal about this if we don't like it. I flat don't fucking like it, and I am going to call them a bunch of cunts repeatedly, and I'm going to urge the people at Warhammer World, if any of them are watching this, if any of the rules team are watching this whatsoever, rethink this decision and fuck the balance, because that's literally your job is to balance the fucking game. And maybe if you didn't change the rules every 35 fucking seconds, you'd have a better chance of balancing the game. And maybe you should spend time doing that rather than just going, I'll tell you what the answer is. We'll make our lives easier by fucking over our customer base.
I honestly don't think this was done at a rules level.
Well, no, it wasn't.
This decision was made at a mid-level management.
Yeah,
money
100%
level.
it was. Absolutely.
So my theory is, and I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat.
Go on, Jay.
Right. Games Workshop doesn't want you to have armies that can be used in multiple instances. Right? The prime example of this is demons.
Yep.
Right? Up until a year and a half ago, demons you could use in AOS 40k and Horus Heresy. Right?
Which means you could buy one army.
One army. Now, you can't use a demon army realistically in AOS because they've split all the factions up, and then they've replaced a lot of the models with faction-specific ones. So anyone that collected an all-round demons army is so restricted that it's nigh on unplayable. And so obviously, you can use your demons in 40k, but that's stretching.
But this is a
bit
bad
now.
business decision, because what they should be doing is going, hey, for those of you that play the hobby that don't have the most amount of money, actually demons is the army for you, because you can play them in multiple. This is so much of this is just money hungry, and that's why I have a problem with it.
What they've gone is like, right, these people have bought Heresy models. So what it is, we won't let them use Heresy models in Warhammer 40k. So what they'll do is they'll want to carry on using those models, so they're going to buy into Heresy.
Yeah.
So what they've done now is they're gatekeeping Heresy to the point where a lot of people, and I'd say there's a larger proportion of people that play 40k than other people that can't afford to have multiple armies.
Yeah.
Right? So there's people that want to do 40k and Heresy. They do Space Wolves, right? And Space Wolves could be mini marines. You can have a whole Horus Heresy Space Wolf army and play 40k with zero restrictions, right? Now you can't.
Yep.
So what it means then is that person has got their Heresy army. They go, I'm not going to play 10th edition now. Got no incentive to play 10th edition because I don't want to buy the rule book. I don't want to do Primaris. I don't want to have to buy an entirely new army. So I'm not picking up Leviathan. But then the same thing happens in the opposite direction as well. People that are thinking about getting into Heresy, they're like, no, because I have to spend
Here's the other thing as well, Joe, right? Here's the other thing. People, and this is again, Games Workshop's complete detachment from their actual fucking customer base. There's a video that's going around on social media at the moment, and it got sent to me on WhatsApp in multiple groups, right, of a guy who I think he's like Scandinavia or something like that, or Germany or whatever. I'm not sure exactly. I couldn't completely pin his accent down. However, he has openly said, hopefully said that he has spent 8 years building his World Eaters, right? You've seen this video. I've shown you the video, okay?
Yeah.
His World Eaters consisted of 3 units of 8 Berserkers in 3 Rhinos. The Rhinos are still relevant. The Berserker units basically aren't relevant or legal since the change from old World Eaters to new World Eaters. So that's already fucked his 3 units of Berserkers. He's actually got 13 usable models out of the 24 that he had. Okay, so 11 of them he can't use because they've got incorrect loadouts, etc. now. He's got 2 units of Chaos Terminators. Right? Oh, and the champions, because he's got them powerful, they can't use those. He's got 2 units of 10 Chaos Terminators. He can just about possibly use those, but it's out of sheer luck. Right? He's got 10 converted cultists that he can use as jackals. He's got Khan that he can still use. His Demon Prince he can still use, but it's the incorrect size because they brought out a new one. And that's where his list finishes for stuff that he can now use. Because he has a Dreadcore Drop Pod he can't use anymore, a Brass Scorpion that he can't use anymore, a Kaitan that he can't use anymore, 2 Contemptors that he can't use anymore.
Leviathan he can't use anymore. He's got 2 Decimators he can't use.
So this man, probably because he's not the most well off in the world ever, or isn't the quickest painting, has spent 8 years building his army. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand that over the course of 8 years, things are going to change, rules are going to change, things are going to become less relevant. But he's just been steadily, gently fucking fucked by Edward Scissorhands.
In the last 6 months, he's lost
all of his army.
All of his army.
The whole fucking thing. In 6 months, his army has gone from completely legal and usable to I can use 13 Berserkers, Khan, 20 Terminators, and 3 Rhinos.
Yeah.
That's horse shit.
So then, it's like, what incentive does that man have to stay in the hobby?
Well, if I was listening to him, and if he'd have, I was expecting him to finish that video saying, "Fuck you, Games Workshop, I quit," and I'd have supported him in it.
Yeah.
And I don't want less people in the hobby. My business relies on more people in the hobby, and I just supported him in it.
I think because a lot of it is based on the fact that, like, you've bought this stuff, we've got your money now. Obviously, you can't return it to us because you built it. But anyone that's built
I just got into 40k in the last 6 months and bought Kratos as my first tank to field in 10th. Now I don't even have the motivation to paint it.
I would urge
I'm
everybody who's paid for units for their 40k armies that have now can't use them, that have just been the victim to today's fucking release, and everybody who was thinking about it, and everybody who just thinks this is a flat dog shit dickhead business move, because it is, to email, to post on Facebook, fucking bombard the cunts. Wee Man says the C word's being used a lot, right? No, it is. Because they deserve it for a chance. I've said to you guys forever, for the longest time on the channel, because I've been called a simp, and I've been called a fucking GW shill, and all kinds of stuff. And I've always said to you people that we, as a team, me, Brom, Eddie, Joe, Paddy, Chris, as a team, will always give 100% our honest opinion. And if we think they're being fucking douchebags, we will call them on it. Yes, I am supported by GW. I have a stream scheduled for 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon where I get to show you the brand new 10th edition rulebook and review the rules. And I am allowed to tell you that's coming tomorrow. I just can't tell you the content of the stream. But I am allowed to tell you that. And I'm doing that simply because they sent me a copy of the rulebook, because they sent me a copy of Leviathan. So I am supremely grateful to GW for the support they give the channel. That doesn't mean I have to be nice about them the whole time, because I will not lose my integrity just so they keep sending me free product. I'd rather give you an honest opinion, and this is a fucking dog shit move. Now, before we go into too much detail, there is a ton of super chats and gifted memberships I need to get through. We had the audio off for this, so I've missed a couple of the bigger super chats as well. My bad. It's because I had to boot the computer up before we got started, and I forgot to turn the sound on because I was talking to Joe, because quite frankly today I'm seething. So thank you, Dave. We've done that one. Thank you, Peter, for the gifted. I think we did that one. One Master World, thank you for the 2. GW could at least spit on it first before they'd done this. Yeah, exactly. They went in fucking dry with a cactus. Sean, thank you for the 5. Games Workshop reminded me of Wizards of the Coast today. Sad day indeed. Horrible way to treat customers. Horrible way to treat customers. Ben, thanks for the 350 again. I'm kidding. It does suck hard on big sweaty balls. It does. Lehman, thank you for the 2. World Eaters just got fucked over even more. Yep, they already got fucking bummed. Oh, that's the other unit that he had to get rid of, was his 5 Havocs. And he said literally one of the oldest narrative units in World Eaters. Can't use it. Yeah, I mean, I'm a massive World Eaters fan, as you guys know. Literally fucked twice in a year. Brilliant. Thanks very much. Turd saying, Jimmy, thank you for the 5. It seems GW thinks that a majority of the player base is tournament players. I mean, they must. I'm hoping that tournament players continue to fucking prop this business up, because it's the only people they seem to give a fuck about. Bane, thank you for the 2. You guys rock. I mean, we're probably coming across pretty negative and whingy right now, right?
One of the things is like the tournament players are going to be the ones, because what's going to happen is Games Workshop, you can still buy it. It'll still be on the Forge website. It'll still be on the Games Workshop website, but people won't buy it now because they'll go like, Or
It was almost
a really
it was almost a really sad, tragic. Please still buy it. No, fuck you. Why would we?
Yeah, it's like you're not going to support it, and in 2 years' time, it's not going to have.
And here's the other thing, right? I am 150% and some against 3D printing models that Games Workshop sell. However, and I never thought I'd say this, but if you spent 80, 90 to £100 on a model a month ago thinking you can use it, and you now can't use it, what incentive does this give you to, at any point in the future, put your money into their expensive products when you could 3D print it for 20 quid, and if they then retcon it 5 minutes later without giving you any warning that it's coming, you go, oh, I've lost 20 quid, rather than losing 100 quid.
Well, people that wanted to collect Space Marines for 40k, who bought the Dark Heresy box?
Dark,
what is it called?
Age of Darkness.
Age of Darkness, right? Boy, and then again, yes, because it's usable in 40k, it's really good. It's a really good way of getting into Space Marines. According to their Facebook, whoever's typing on Facebook today was saying that even Relic Terminators aren't available.
Well, it says on Facebook.
Yeah,
but it doesn't say that in the article, so who knows?
So, but what I'm saying is that whoever bought that box set, the mini Marines are still usable, but the Terminators. Everything else that came in the box set, like, no.
I recently bought Age of Darkness because I wanted to build a Sons of Horus army, right? Because I wanted to paint that colour. I wanted to use Horus. And the reason why I wanted to use Horus is because I was like, hey, I can port this across to a 40k army, and I can use the Horus model as my Abaddon, right? Yeah. And I can port it across to 40k. And one of the reasons why I was doing it is I wanted something that I could fit in with the Kratos, because I like the Kratos. I wanted to use the Spartan because it's in that box.
Yeah.
I've got Sons of Horus Contempt to Bodies. Can't use any of this in 40k now.
No. Despite
So I'm now going to go as far as to say I'm now looking at just flat pausing that project because I can't use it in 40k.
At the moment, there's no point us doing any form of Heresy anything.
Not now.
Like, because until we get everything in 40k done, like every army done, all the units that are currently available to use, there's no point even dipping a toe into Heresy anymore. Because what we could have done is I wanted to do White Scars, and I could do a full White Scars army, and I could use it in 40k.
GW fucking over 40k players is the reason why Heresy had so many players in the beginning, and now they're doing it again by saying the units can only be in 30k.
100%. Thanks for the 10, man. You're a hero. Michael says, you can still play the blooming things. It's just not competitive. Like 5% of the player base plays in tournaments. I mean, first of all, you're miles off, right? So even if only 5% of the player base plays in tournaments, the problem we're saying, as we've already addressed on this particular stream, is even in casual pickup games, most people will use the latest balanced version. 99% of the time, you flat don't see Legends units played, and these are going to Legends. This is a big dressed up article to say, we've Legended all this stuff for you. That's all it is, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Ozzy, thank you for the 5. The real cockwomble thing is that I've known about this thing for a good couple of years, I'd imagine. So selling them as usable in 40k was really low. I mean, they would have at least known about this for the last few months, Ozzy.
It would have been less, right? It would have been less hurtful on the soul, right? If they'd announced 10th edition at Fest, and then the week of 10th edition release from Fest, they'd gone, by the way, this stuff will not be available in 10th edition. To set your, you've got this long left of using these things. Or I probably even would have said it at Warhammer Fest, because the Forge World store open at Warhammer Fest. So what they've done is they've announced 10th edition and gone, buy what you want. And then a few weeks ago...
Here's the big cunt trick, Joe. Hey, 10th edition's coming, and in 10th edition, Primaris and normal Space Marines can get in each other's transport. And I know at least 2 people, I know this isn't a big number, but I know at least 2 people went, I can buy a Spartan and put my Primaris fucking Blade Guard in there.
Yeah.
Well, but you're glad you made that purchase.
I know someone who's bought a Mastodon.
Honestly, unfucking believable. Unbelievable. Peter says, in my country, Legends means no play. There you go. Yeah. Exactly, right? Brennan, thank you for the 20. She would have read this out, but we didn't have the speakers on, so I missed it. I don't spend hundreds of dollars building and painting beloved personal models just to have them go to Legends and become unsupported over the next year. The amount of investment should guarantee years of use. 100% it should. Absolutely.
The new Legends of Hershey stuff is a real feel bad and a missed opportunity to sell lots of models.
100% it is.
Love you guys though. Heart.
If you think when you buy,
she's going back to go off straight away again. By the way.
Oh, before she go when.
There you go.
SSM should still be able to use older tanks. All their tech is from the Horus.
100% Tyler, completely agree with you.
If you read any book from Black Library. They're always like, they're all old style Space Marine things that they've stolen off other. The whole Night Lords trilogy they've got contempt to dreadnoughts because that's all they could steal off other people.
Well, like you say, the current narrative, all they do when they planet assault is Dreadclaw drop pods.
Yeah.
And
Thunderhawks.
And things like fucking Blood Slaughterers and Kaitans aren't heresy units.
Yeah.
They're 40k units.
It's like,
and Chaos Space Marines don't have the 97 data sheets that currently exist in the 9th edition Space Marine Codex.
The thing is, like, what I say, like, thing is, like, when you buy Call of Duty, you know everything that you purchase within the Call of Duty store is only available for the 2 years or one year at the moment that you have that game, and you know that when the new game comes out, you're not going to have anything to use in that.
But you know
because that is established through the last 15 years of Call of Duty being out, right? Whereas when you buy a physical model that you take time to build and paint, right? Games Workshop has always maintained a consistent, if you own it, you can use it. Right?
And I understand Legends for some units that maybe the resin mold is fucking to knackered, and they look at it and they go, is it worth rebuilding this mold for the cost? Are we selling enough? That's probably not worth it. We'll move it to Legends. But to move brand new plastic kits that you have sold to your customer base as usable in Warhammer 40k and move them to Legends is nothing more than a cunt's trick. It's just shitting all over your customer base.
Yeah.
And they have to realise, with the emergence of other companies, with the emergence of other tabletop games, and with the emergence of 3D printing, to some extent, if they continue to treat their customers this way, their business is going to be hanging on a fucking thread in the longer term. And people go, they make millions of dollars. I understand, right now they make millions of dollars, and I'm making a comment about a company that makes a lot more money in a fucking day than I will probably make in my lifetime. I fully understand that. But let's face it, people will only be fucking dry fucked in the arse with a cactus for so long before they go, it's a bit painful. I actually think I might step away from this.
Well, this is a real pushing out of the old guard, really, if you think about it, in terms of like the older generations of players that grew up through like 4th, 5th, 6th edition when Forge World was massive and huge. It was like a really integral part of playing Warhammer, and they really liked converting and making models. There's people's entire businesses now on building and converting Heresy models for people to use in their 40k armies.
The real shit thing as well is, which I fucking hate, is legally they're actually fine.
Yeah.
Because if you've bought the model, you can actually still use it. You just have to use it a different game system. And I fucking hate this underhanded technique. And I don't comment on Games Workshop social media at all because I don't think it's professional.
Yeah.
Right? I am supported by them. They send me stuff to review. So I don't think it'd be professional for me to go on their Facebook page and call them cunts, right? And it doesn't look good for the channel either, to be honest with you, despite the fact that it's literally all I've done for the last fucking 35 minutes. However, I was reading the Facebook response. I always find it very interesting to look at Facebook posts or social media posts and look at the community's response, which is pretty overwhelmingly negative on the whole. And a lot of people saying pretty much the exact same things we're saying tonight. And I was literally seething at the fucking the twat who's in charge of that Facebook page. He needs to be fucking strung up.
Was thinking about buying 10 Lernians for my Alpha Legion. Just worked out that 3.1k of my 15k is unusable. I'll wait. Maybe not buy. Gutted about the Legends shift more for others with more though.
3,000 points of your stuff is no longer usable. It's madness. So this Facebook person, he kept saying, but people go, thanks for just making all my shit unusable. And he kept going, but you can use it though. You can still use it in narrative and match play. I'm like, this just proves how detached from the wider customer base you actually fucking are. And people kept going underneath and going, no, that's not true. My local gaming store doesn't allow Legends, so I can't use it. Yeah, you lying fuck.
It is though that they must realise, whoever does it must have realised the fact that competitive. I know people are like competitive play and match play are intrinsically entwined. They are, let's be honest, the exact same thing.
They're basically one and the same, yeah. 100%.
So match play is just a fancy word for casual play. But competitive play is played exactly the same.
Yeah. All right, Dang Skippy, thank you for the 5. Gifted memberships, you're a hero. Gifted memberships, an incredible way. I mean, they might cancel me at this rate, GW, right now. So all the support's going to fucking help people, right? All the gifted memberships, all the super chats are definitely going to help because I think I'm going to piss them off. I don't care. I'm speaking how I feel. Paul, thank you for the gifted 1 as well. That puts us on 90 gifted memberships. We got to 188 last night. Can we beat it tonight? You guys would be amazing if you could smash through last night's total. Rambo, thank you for the 5. Who has... Oh, it's just jumped loads. Where has he gone? Where's Rambo gone? There he is. So Custodians get Contempt to Dreadnought, but Marines and Chaos don't. Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, wait and see.
I mean, like, Contempt to Dreadnoughts in Custodes are... Consider, right, there are 10,000 Custodes, right? At any one time. There's never more than 10,000 Custodes, right? There's maybe 100 Dreadnoughts within the entire Custodes.
PT13.
Right.
Yeah, PT13. Yeah, in my hand right now is a metal Dark Elder Succubus from the early 2000s that is perfectly usable. Yeah, the plastic tank from 4 months ago. Not.
No.
Honestly. I need to get through all these. There's loads of them. Thank you, people. You're amazing. Don't forget, like I said, 10% of our revenue from Super Chats always goes to charity. Currently, charity model for heroes. ! M4H in chat if you want to know where it's going. Just because a load of you are donating, and we're at 440 people watching, so it means we have probably got a lot of people watching that don't normally watch. So just let you know that if you Super Chat, we do donate 10% of it to charity. We do a lot of charity work. And if you want to come and join the discussion in the Great Hall Discord server, ! Member, come and join us as a channel member. Or maybe someone out there will be kind enough to give you a gifted membership, and then you get to join us in Discord as well. ! Member to join, and if you do join, ! Discord to then get in Discord after you've joined. If you do join Discord without being a member, you won't get to see fuck all, basically.
Yeah.
So thank you, Rambo, for the 5. Thursday, Jimmy, thank you for the 5. GW, balance is important. Also, GW, check out this new data sheet for the line. Yeah.
Balance is important. Look at Drakari.
Balance is
look at Eldar.
And Gene Silica.
Yeah.
Balance is important, apart from all the rules we've released for 10th edition. Thank you so much, Brennan, for the 5. Love the channel. Still mostly positive about 40k, but fucking hell, keep up the good work, Liam and Joe. Okay, so right, I need to make a differentiation here. I need to make it clear that there are two separate things going on right now. 10th edition 40k as a game, I am, and a new release, I am still immensely positive about. I think it's probably fair to say you are as well.
I'm so excited. It's gonna be mad Wild West style gaming for a while, and I'm super excited for it because it's really gonna be unpredictable. Loads of craziness going to be, and one thing I'm really looking forward to is what people come up with.
Yeah,
the weird and wonderful combination.
So as a 40k, I need to get this out there. Still mostly positive about 40k. I'm still mostly positive about 40k as a game. This moan, rant, whinge, complain, anger has got nothing to do with the game of 40k. It's to do with the company's actions and the way they've behaved, and more importantly, the way they are treating you, their customers, and me and Joe. We both have Forge World units. Joe has a lot of Forge World units.
So basically, I've lost the use of my Khitan. We've lost the use of the Briar Scorpion.
Yep.
We've lost the use of 4 Leviathan Dreadnoughts.
Yep. Between us,
and I've got 2 more at home.
Yep.
To do. We've lost the use of 7 Contemptor Dreadnoughts.
Yep.
My Dreadnought drop. Well, my Leviathan, my Dreadclaw drop pod I can't use anymore. The planes we can't use anymore.
Yep.
And it's like, and the thing is, I was looking at the Forge World website the other day. I was like, I do kind of want Bloodslaughterers because they're just really cool.
They're fucking cool.
They're amazing. I was like, but I haven't got them in the past because the rules have been terrible.
What's going to happen now is in about fucking 6 months they're going, Bloodslaughterers aren't really selling, so we're gonna stop making them. Yeah, because you fucked them, you clowns. It's your own fault.
Yeah, you would make more money if you allowed them to be usable.
So I am hugely positive about the game still. I need to make this clear. I'm very excited about my stream at 4 o'clock tomorrow where I can showcase the rules to you people. I'm super excited about that. There's another stream at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning that I'm super excited by. So to be clear, I am very excited about what's coming. Very excited about what's coming with 40k. This is just a dick move. And I've said this before, they need to be called on it. When they behave this way, they need to be called on it. It's as simple as that.
It's questionable practices.
It is very questionable practices. So before I jump onto the next bunch of super chats, I need to say a massive thank you and a huge shout out to Sheep Avenger. Sheep Avenger, the sheep have been avenged, Joe.
Yeah.
He gifted 50 memberships.
Protect the sheep.
Yeah.
At all costs from the Welsh.
Yeah. I'm going to say thank you to Ginger Steve for the 10, but I'm not going to read it out because you're a dick. Thank you, Chris, just for the 5. I'm so happy to have bought my termite drill in Warhammer Fest. I built it and painted it and used it once. I mean, this is what I'm saying. These fucking... I wish there was... Like, and I'm 100% sure there isn't, but I wish there was some form of retail law out there where you could turn around and go, no, you fuckers, I need my money back, you bastards.
Yeah.
Because I was sold under false pretenses.
You've sold this thing to me and on the idea that I'm going to be able to use this, not forever, because that would be mad.
Yeah.
But for at least 5 to 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Because you can, if you bought a succubus in metal, 15 years ago,
You still use it.
or you bought a plastic dreadnought
Fucking mad
in
at it.
Blackreach 20 years ago, you can still use that now, and I assume you'll be able to use it in 10th edition, right? So when you buy a model now, or 6 months ago, that's been newly released by Games Workshop, saying you can use this in 40k,
Yeah.
right? And then 6 months later say, no. It's mind blowing.
I know you are obviously very annoyed as a Chaos player, but at least you have more options than me as a World Eaters player. They've just straight fucked World Eaters.
Oh, World Eaters. I would feel less. I would feel more sad for World Eaters if it wasn't the fact that your rules have just been ridiculous for 6 months. You had a good 6 months. And you did the piss out of my Terminators being worse than yours.
Well, thank you for the 5. I've got 3 Decimators and a second Brass Scorpion and a Khitan for my Cogs of Vashtar, and now I've wasted my money, thanks Games Workshop. If you haven't built them, ask to send it back and get a refund, Will. Honestly, if you guys haven't built this stuff, ask to send it back and get a refund and tell them, and literally write in the email, because you cunts, put that in there. They need to see it.
Actually, this is an interesting point, right? If you've bought Horus Heresy stuff over the last 6 months, and you've painted it, or you've built it but not painted it, right? All that's going to happen with all this huge amount of Horus Heresy stuff that we now can't use in 40k, all that's going to happen is it's going to go onto Facebook Marketplace, eBay, whatever your shopping app may be, right? For second-hand stuff. It's going to go on there, and people are going to buy it who play Heresy for cheap. What happens then is that they're not buying those models brand new from Games Workshop anymore. So surely this is going to see a massive crash in sale for Games Workshop for Horus Heresy.
It's a stupid decision. It's just a retarded decision.
Yeah, because people who say like, well, why would I buy a Land Raider brand new for 60 quid when I could buy it for 30 quid off a disgruntled 40k player?
I honestly think this excuse of it's for balance reasons is just an excuse to go. This is why we're not doing it. It's why we can't.
We don't want you to have one army for 2 things.
It's honestly it's fucking it's oh my god, it's stupid. It's ridiculous. Tyler, thank you for the 5 gifted. You're amazing. Aaron, we got that one. Thank you. She read that one out. Wee Man, thank you for the gifted. You're a hero. That got read out. Gaz, thank you for the 2. Evening all. What did I miss and why is Joe sad? Well, I mean, I think you've probably caught up by now, mate. Kaiser, thank you for the 5. I own in resin a 5.
Like taking my Mastodon to tournaments with my wolves. Gutted that Vast was its last tournament. Next time I'm in Nottingham, I'll put it through their window.
Yeah, and shit on the doormat as well at the same time. Kaiser, I own in resin a Fire Raptor, Sicarian, Contemptor, Spartan, Bloodslaughter, a Greater Bar Scorpion. Used to feel smug about that. Now, not so much. I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, people have got huge collections of this stuff who just play 40k because they have never ever given any inclination that this is not going to be usable in 40k. In fact, like I said, when the Heresy stuff was released in plastic, I'm pretty sure it was marketed as usable in Warhammer 40k.
The whole situation would be made better if the bottom of that Warhammer community post saying, if you've bought anything from us in the last 6 months that you haven't opened, we will do an exchange on it for you.
I mean that's going to help a bit, but there'll be a lot of pissed off people here who will be like, well, hang on a minute, but I have opened mine because I thought I could use it. So why can I now not use it?
The thing is, though, right? They're like, but you can still use the Land Raider. You can still use the Predator. It's like, let's be honest. How many Land Raiders and Predators have you seen on the tables of late?
Well, right, okay, right, chat. And this is why I know they're cunts as well, right? Yes, I'm using the word a lot. Sue me. If you don't like that word, just fucking unsubscribe because, right, okay. This is the Leviathan. I just had a thought, Jay. I just wondered for a brief moment. Like I was talking, I keep talking about marketable as using in Warhammer 40k. Leviathan Siege Dreadnought with claws and weapons. Okay, on the website. I went on a look whilst you were talking. Lots of spiel, right? Here's an alternative, blah, 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 Contemptor, the rare and mighty, lots and lots of spiel, lots of this impressively customizable kit, blah, 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 blah. We recommend using our glue and paints, of course, despite the fact that's probably better out there. The kit is compatible with Leviathan, remember, you will need a copy of Warhammer the 40,000 Age of Darkness rulebook and the Liber Astartes trait Legion to make full use of this model in games of Warhammer 40,000 the Horus Heresy. Rules for using the Leviathan Siege Dreadnought in games of Warhammer 40k can be found in the Warhammer 40k Imperial Army Compendium available from Forge. So it actually is sold as usable in Warhammer 40k.
Yeah.
So this Legends thing...
But it is
This legend
in your kitchen.
But this Legends thing is a get around so that is still relevant, and we haven't missold you this product.
Yeah.
This is a get around. It is we haven't missold you. Honestly, you can still use it despite the fact, because we have been saying, as we've been selling this, it's usable in Warhammer 40k. And what they're now doing is they're going, oh yeah, but it's still usable in Warhammer 40k, just not competitive, just not the latest balanced version. It's usable as a legend, which no one really actually uses.
Yeah.
Right, Dave B. That's okay. I mean, that is a pinned comment right there, Dave. uk.custserve@gwplc.com. That's a pinned comment right there, Mr. Dave. I'm going to get interrupted by Christos in just a moment. We're going to carry on. Angriest Ron, thank you for the 5. I waited so long to paint up my Kaitan. Now I don't really feel the desire to. And you.
The new Vindicator kit was John pre-ordered 2 weeks ago. It is more beautiful than the current Vindicator kit. Why not stop the old kit and add the laser destroyer on the Vindicator datasheet?
Exactly. That's the same fucking model, Christos, basically. It's already got stats, essentially, for 40k, right? Yeah, the thing is, and the other thing was these things like your Kaitans or Angus Run is they've just fucking absolutely murdered the fucking eBay resale value of it as well by putting this out.
But the thing is, like, you got to think, like, if you've got, like, how difficult is it to do rules for the Spartan over the Land Raider? A Spartan's got 8 lance cannons.
Yeah.
And a Land Raider's got 4 with the same weapon.
Yeah.
And a Spartan's just a bigger Land Raider. Just give it more wounds.
It's not hard, is it?
There we go.
It's not difficult, Joe, really, right? The only thing that should be... So thank you, Stick Monkey, for the 5. You're a hero. The only thing that should be in Legends are models that Games Workshop haven't made and sold in 10 plus years, or super low sales. Like I say, old molds that break, that kind of thing. Totally get it. 100%, absolutely. Matt, we got yours for the 10. Thank you. Jill, thank you for the 5. What a lovely way to fuck over the customers. Has the feel of the decision making not coming from the hobby at all. 100% agree. There's no way this is from the design studio.
Oh no.
There's no way this is from the design studio.
Because the people that design it go, well, the people on the internet are saying that we need to make the Leviathan Dreadnought more accessible for players because they want to use it, but they don't want to have to spend one of their 6 command points, right? And spend more points than they would on something normally. Because they really like that model, so that people really want to see this on the table. They really want to use it. People are asking for it. They're like, oh, the Kaitan, people who own the Kaitan, it's really good. They want to buy it because it's a really nice model, but people aren't using it because the rules are terrible. What we could do is make the rules better. One of the best
ways they could solve this balancing issue is never bringing out this ridiculous Primaris nonsense and just upscale Space Marines in the first place, like they should have done. That's what they should have done.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Ultimately, right? There was another one I've just seen a minute ago as well. Pip said, do you think that's why Stu Black didn't do an interview with him? I think it's probably because I've been on a stream repeatedly calling him a fucking idiot.
What was hilarious, one of the best moments of my life was watching Jess Goodwin have a go at someone at Warhammer Fest when they're like, oh my god, I really like these true scale Space Marines. He was like, they're not true scale, they're Primaris. And and watching him rant at this poor lad for 10 minutes about why Primaris are better, and like people are like, yeah, but we've been asking for true scale, upscale Space. Do you know what they're doing now, right? For Horus Heresy, making true scale Space Marines.
True scale Terminators?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to be honest with you, Pip, I don't know why I didn't get a chance to interview Stu Black. I mean, it wasn't really an interview with Stu Black either. There was a bunch of people on one call with him, and he said a load of things, and they've all been able to make their own videos about it. So don't be under don't be under an illusion that people have actually individually interviewed him, because that hasn't happened. And I will miss out on things like that because I won't walk around with his knob in my mouth. Because quite frankly, if he's an idiot and he comes out and does stupid videos online about Meta Watch, I'm going to call him an idiot. And I like to think that's why a lot of people actually quite like the channel. Yeah. So I'm not going to stop doing it.
Probably the reason that we won't get into with him is because of what we've said about Mr. Watch.
I don't care. I'd rather be honest. My integrity is more important than shitty emails that might get me a few more clicks, shitty interviews that might get me a few more clicks, Joe. My integrity is much more important. Chris, do you think there is a chance they will walk this design back? I hope enough people make enough stink and send enough emails and swear at them repeatedly that they actually strongly consider reversing this decision and supporting these units going forward.
Like I said earlier, I think a lot of this is a mid-level management decision, thinking that they're going to make loads of money from it. And they've sold this dream to someone above them about why it's a good idea, and they've not really thought about it.
Let's be honest, the design studio and the rules team just want shit that's cool.
Yeah.
Because that's what people are in 40k for.
Well, the design studio and the rules team are the ones who play the game and actually really enjoy the game. Anyone that's really above them, let's be honest, is a businessman who's there to make sure that Games Workshop stays afloat. But but the problem is that sometimes those two separate parties don't really communicate properly, and one will always overrule the other one.
Yeah.
Normally within companies, it's money.
Interesting. Rick says email sent. Yeah, those interviews were lame and felt super scripted and asked a lot of basic, boring questions. Well, that's because they will have been scripted, because you don't get anything genuine out of Games Workshop. I cannot stress this to you people enough, right? I love the hobby. I want the company to be successful because I want more customers who want to come and super chat and be members. Of course I do. It's what builds my business. It's what literally puts food on the table for Joe and I. So I need them to do well. I need them to be successful. But you don't get honesty out of Games Workshop. Anybody who actually thinks there's a couple of occasions, right, where I felt like they've been being a bit more like actually true to life and a bit more honest. Yeah. They came out when they announced 10th edition and said, let's be honest, it's bloated, it's nonsense, and we got it wrong. And I did a stream where I commended them. I was like, fucking hell. When has Games Workshop ever came out and said, we got this shit wrong?
Yeah.
We've made a mistake. We're going to use 10th edition to do a reset. I mean, then what they did is they released all the rules that they've shown us so far, and we went, I mean, what? Is that you sure? I feel like the person who did that article was different to the person who wrote the rules, right? No, fewer re-rolls. No, fewer.
Fewer.
So I mean, you just don't get honesty out of them. That interview, to be honest with you, I think if I'd have been offered, I'm gonna say something that you're all gonna call bullshit on, and you're all gonna say, oh, it's just because you didn't get the chance. I think if I would have got offered the opportunity to interview anyone from GW, I probably would turn it down, because I would want to go, here's a list of questions I've got that customers actually fucking care about and the community actually wants to know, and they're going to go, can't ask that, can't ask that, can't ask that, can't ask that, can't ask that. What's the fucking point? Because at that point I'm going, interview with Stu Black, and all I'm doing it for is for clicks and subs, and that's not why I do content. Ultimately, that's not why we do it, right? I'd rather be honest, like I say. Lehman, thank you for the 2. Oh, it's just jumped miles. Where is it? Lehman's super chat. I've lost 10,000 points out of 30,000 points of World Eaters, which will be in the last 6 months. That fucking sucks. World Eaters players have been shafted hard. Chaos players have been shafted. It's just not been a fun time. I have been in the hobby, so thank you, Sean, for the 5. I've been in this hobby for 23 years and spent thousands of dollars on Forge World and Heresy models that are going to sit on the shelf forever now. It's really sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really sad. Sheep Avenger, like I said, thank you so much for the 50, man. You're a hero. I need to add all these to June members in just a minute. Absolute legends. Zena, thank you for the 5. I would much rather watch you. You're honest about how you feel, what Games Workshop is doing, than kissing their ass because of the perks they give. I mean, I've always said this, okay? If they sent me a product, if they sent me, I don't know, if they sent me this phone, I mean, they won't, obviously, but if they sent me this phone and I for free to review, and I went, we'd like you to review it, and I went, cool, it's shit. And they went, oh, he didn't like our product. We're not going to send him our stuff anymore. For me, that says more about them than it does about me.
Yeah.
Like, I've kept my integrity. They've lost theirs. We're not going to send them to any reviewers who review them negatively.
The thing is, though, if you only ever say nice things about Games Workshop or any company, even if it's a really bad product that gets reviewed by other people and that they say this is bad, and you're like, no, it's really good, it's amazing, it just makes you look really stupid. In the context of 40k, if you're saying the rules on this are great, there's nothing wrong with them, this is amazing, I don't see how there's a problem, and you're like one person shouting that out, but then 50 other people are going like, no, this is clearly broken. Like, what are you talking about? This is stupid. And that it just makes that one person who is only saying nice things because they want to be in with Games Workshop, in the wider community, goes, oh no, this person is just being stupid.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So thank you for the 5. I appreciate it. Gaz, thank you for the 5. If they have been willing to do this to the Heresy models that haven't been out long, I wonder if they will do yet another cull on 10th release. Gaz, for fuck's sake, I hope not, honestly. Des, thank you for the 5. I have a Chiton, a Kronos, a Cerberus, 3 Psycharian variants, 2 Leviathans, 2 Contemptors, a Whirlwind Scorpius, a Decimator, and probably loads more. Wow. Yes, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
I mean, SM have bloat, yes, but what about SSM and why the new models? There are units in 40k they have clearly no interest in, or vehicles where we have 2 that are practically like the same.
No, I agree. This is what I'm saying. Like, when you talk about things like the Chitan, the Dreadclaw, when you talk about some of that stuff, I don't understand why Chaos needs to lose those. If you're just flat removing Heresy, I kind of get it. I don't like it because I don't like the fact that they were sold as usable in 40k, and they're actually still currently saying sold as usable in 40k, just not competitive, right? So I kind of, if they go, we really want to separate Heresy, we really want to separate 40k away. I don't know why they would do that. I don't know how that makes any business sense, because if you can sell both sets of models to both sets of players, that just makes more sense, in my opinion, anyway. But if their decision was solely we really want to separate Heresy and we really want to separate 40k and make them two separate gaming systems, I'd have more of an understanding. But to remove the Khitan, to remove the Dreadclaw, to remove the Blood Slaughterer, to remove the Decimator, to remove those units that are 40k units from Chaos and put them in Legends just doesn't make sense to me.
Also, why do it now when, like 3-4 weeks ago, they announced they were getting rid of the Chaos Planes and stuff like that? Why not then?
The thing is as well,
turn around and be like, by the way, these things are going.
The thing is as well, Joe, for World Eaters players, right? Our transport options in the Codex is a Land Raider and a Rhino. So I know for a fact that World Eaters players are pretty prolific in buying termite drills, Dreadclaw drop pods.
Well, if you think like the new World Eaters book came out, and you've lost all of this stuff, but you can still buy these Forge Rod units that are usable in the new book.
Yeah.
So they basically turned around and said like, you can't use these, but buy these now. You can use them.
Yeah.
And now they've got, oh, by the way, that new stuff that you bought in the last 2-3 months, you can't use anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I was very close to buying 3 Dreadclaws to use with World Eaters because I didn't want to use Rhinos, and I'm fucking glad I didn't.
But we nearly got 3 Decimators.
Nick, thank you so much for upgrading to her Skull tier. You're a hero. What legend. I've already read Dez's one. Oh, okay. I must have skipped that membership. So thank you so much, Nick, for upgrading. You're a hero. Ginger Steve, thank you for the 5. I'm going to read this in a minute.
The fact that you will call GW out was one of the main things that got me to become a member. When they do something stupid, they deserve to be and must be called out, otherwise they'll go wild.
Yeah. Where are we? Ginger Steve, thank you for the 5. Can a man not make jokes in Super Chats anymore? Oh, by the way, Nick, thank you for the 10 year hero. I was just seeing if that vein on your temple was actually going to pop because I could see it throbbing. Honestly, Steve, it's been throbbing since the article came out. I'm just not happy with it. It's a fucking stupid decision.
Yeah.
And it's just not looking after customers.
What?
And it's not like it's just the whole underhanded way it's done as well. Like, first of all, it's removing units that people have spent hundreds. I mean, some of these people, if you look at what some of these people have said, people like Dats and Des, people like Warmaster Will, people like Lehman Russ, etc. We're talking thousands of pounds.
Oh yeah.
People have spent that now just flat wasted money. And it's just this, and this is just GW to a T. It's just this underhanded, dishonest process the whole way through.
Well, like you said at the beginning, like it's like no one gets Heresy units apart from Custodes because they make us loads of money. Oh, and you can use Heresy Knights because we haven't released them yet.
Exactly.
We want to get our money from them first, and then we'll Legends them.
Yeah, then we'll probably Legends them in the future.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing that people don't seem to be getting with it, right? They need to work hard on balance. They do. I mean, if we look at the 10th edition stuff they've released so far, they've done a fucking shit job of that. But we can't really actually truly judge that until we have points in our hands. So I keep looking at it going, it doesn't look all that balanced. But until we know the points, we actually really can't comment on how balanced it is. Some of it looks fucking bonkers, quite frankly. That aside, I do agree they need to do more with balance. I know there's a guy in chat, a Christian. Christian keeps saying in chat about how some of us think it's a good idea. Do we have a voice? Yeah, I mean, you're welcome to think it's a good idea. I'm just giving you my opinion. I'm not telling you. I need to make this clear as well, Christian, right? Because I know some people that are in chat. There's nearly fucking 500 people watching. Some people that are in chat will be going, oh, actually, I think this is a good choice. And he's telling me I'm wrong. No. I'm just giving you my opinion. Joe's just giving you his opinion. For once, we're not playing Jekyll and Hyde. We're not good cop, bad cop. We both agree. This is just my opinion, mate, right? Christian, if you think this is a good move, far. And I'm not, in terms of balance for the game, I'm not even saying that it's a bad move.
Heresy will have a budget for development based off its previous sales. 40k will have the same. I think the 40k managers won't want their budget eaten into due to sales of Heresy tanks by 40k players.
But they're still using them in fucking 40k. I don't understand. That's why Silo operate. It's the same reason. It's the same question as to why Age of Sigmar gets something so right, and then they do it in 40k and they get it so fucking wrong. I'm like, why are you so siloed as a big company? It doesn't make sense. Companies operating in big silos like this is just an archaic process, and it shouldn't exist anymore. Anyway, back to Christian. Like, in terms of game balance, I'm not necessarily suggesting that this is actually a bad thing. To be fair, right? Yeah. Perhaps it's a good thing for game balance. And I'm not saying that if your opinion is that this is a good move and you're happy with it, that you're wrong necessarily. We're just putting across our opinion. And the biggest thing about this actually isn't necessarily whether the decision's right or wrong. It's how it's done and how people are made to feel. Yeah. And people that in the last 6 months have spent hundreds to thousands of pounds that now that can't use them anymore. Yeah. Just can't.
It's just the underhanded way that they've gone about it.
And it's not even like there isn't even a we're really sorry, but we've had to make this tough decision. It's like you can still use it in other games, so fucking man up and get on with it. Yeah. That's the attitude from them. And that's a shit attitude.
Yeah.
There is no looking after the customer. Nordic, thank you for becoming a Jarl. You're a hero. We'll update the tracker in just a second. Wills, thank you for the 2. Thank you both for giving my rage a voice. You're very welcome. Dave, thank you for the 2. He put the email address in. We've already pinned the comment. Matt, thank you for the 5. Didn't Cogs of Vastor basically only have Morlafines, Forge Fiends, and 412 resin options? That seems almost cruel. It did, absolutely. And people bought a lot of the 412 resin options for Cogs of Vastor. Wills, thank you for the 5. GW website, Leviathan page still says you can find rules in 40k Imperial Armor Continuum. What shitheads? Yeah, well, we showed that on camera, right? Kill, thank you for the poo. Hero, One Master Wolf, thank you for the 5. I've just spent shy. Here we go. Right, I've just spent shy of £1,000 on Forge World stuff that's unusable in the last 3 months. I'm close to just not doing 40k anymore. They did this with my Krieg and now my Chaos, and that's what they're doing. They're driving customers away, right? And that's the problem. David Daya 12, thank you for upgrading to Jarl. You're a hero.
Now, these are like in that example from Will. Is it like people that spend that level of money are comfortable spending that level of money because they're buying things that they want, right?
And they love,
And they love. And Games Workshop are like, great, we're making loads of money selling these big ticket items. But the problem is people that are happy to buy those big ticket items and then they lose it all. They're like, well, I've given you loads of money and you've taken it away from me. Why should I give you any more money?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like, they're put like people who are happy to spend most of, if not all of their expendable income on this hobby, are going to turn around and be like, well, it's pointless. It's worthless to me. I'll sell it second hand and just keep the money I get back and not reinvest it into GW.
Yeah. It's I can't.
Perspective, imagine if they did this to Firstborn Marines.
Well, yeah, but the thing is with Firstborn Marines is, if we're honest with you, right, the whole way that Primaris Marines released was just for me personally, Primaris was a fucking stupid idea. Now, from Games Workshop's business perspective, Primaris would have been a great idea because they would have flat sold hundreds and thousands, millions of pounds, in fact, of Primaris stuff because it's the latest, it's the coolest. And people were like, well, I if I want to use Intercessor, I have to have Intercessor. I can't just use my tactical Marines. What I should have done is I should have just upscaled and be like, your old ones aren't retconned, you can still use them, but here's the upscale version. Now, what they could do if they were to remove tactical Marines from the rules now, they could just incorporate them into Primaris Marines and have one Space Marine unit.
Yeah.
And there's ways. I'm sure there's ways they could do it where they could make it work. But you're right. But this is what I'm saying. They can't sell millions of pounds of a project and then just flat go, yeah, you can't use it now. It's done. Yeah. Right. It's just done. Okay. Anyway, back because there's just so much to get through, Joe. I'm just conscious, right? Wee Man, thank you for the gifted membership. History Schmistry, hi from Seattle, long time watcher, love your content. I have 12,000 points of CSM, Death Guard, Alpha Legion, Eye Warriors, Emperor's Champion, and 500 to 10,000 points plus of each army that has been made irrelevant, or 500 to 1,000 points of each army has been made irrelevant. Yeah. That's fucking madness, man. Thanks for the dono, though. You're a hero. And thanks for Super Chatting. What legend. They've all been 10s as well, so she's read those out.
Yeah.
Up to 70 new members as well. Can we hit 100 in the first stream of June? That would be incredible.
Yeah.
That's through all of the super chats.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thing is, on the Firstborn situation, I did say, I have said in the past, what they needed to have done is updated the Primaris line to have everything that the Firstborn had. So assault squads, jump pack stuff, Devastator, blah, blah, blah. If they wrote off, I said to them, they could just get rid of all Firstborn. If they'd done that and just gone all or nothing, but the problem is they've picked and chosen, which is what's made this harder, because if they just go clean sweep,
should Games Workshop just let everything be played, just digital updates?
I mean, that's hard. Like, should they just let everything be played? Is a hard one to answer because there is the balance question. Hang on.
Hi, loving the content. I really wish the community would take control of the rules. I don't trust GW with the rules for my models anymore. I just want my stuff to not be utter trash and unusable or OP.
I think I get. So, Bane, in terms of your question about should everything just be played, just let everything be played, I don't know if that's actually something they can do, simply because of the balance problem. And this is where removing bloat in terms of unit options from certain armies isn't a terrible idea in itself.
Yeah.
So looking at the balance, like looking at the balance issue, it's not a terrible idea. I still think the balance issue is a fucking flat excuse because some of that stuff just didn't need to be removed. Did you need to remove a Decimator? Did you need to remove a Dreadclaw from Chaos?
No.
But they have no drop pods now. Only Space Marines have drop pods.
Using things that you own is difficult, and that's why they bought in Legends originally. We don't sell these things anymore. We're not going to reproduce them or release them in plastic in the future. Here are rules to use them, all right? But this is what makes this whole situation here unique, is the fact that you can still buy them.
But the thing is, Jay, right? All right, let's talk about balance, okay? Let's very quickly talk about balance, because this is where I'm really annoyed by their excuse, okay? They've written a data sheet for all of these units. So they've done the hard part.
Yeah.
They've written the data sheet. How do they gauge whether a unit's busted or broken?
Well, they need to go through...
It's just tournament data, right?
Yeah.
Which is imported, essentially, from a digital space, right? Because they use BCP now. And they look at lists, and they look at what people are running, and they go, oh, okay, every single fucking Space Marine player in the world has got 3 Kratoses, so they're strong. So we put their points up. And that's typically what they do. So really, is the balancing that hard? Are they being bought by the fucking absolute box load, and are they being taken in every list? Yes, they're broken. So we put the points up. Are they not being purchased, and are they in no lists? No. Okay, they're shit. We put the points down. That's balance. The hard part is writing the data sheet. They've done that bit already. They've done the difficult part. So when I'm like, oh, removing units is good for balance, yeah, I agree with that. Now, when you also consider that they're removing tons and tons and tons of how this interacts with this and this interacts with this, where they, in the past, they would just miss an interaction because they would go, oh, we didn't think about that, because we didn't think about the fact that that hasn't got core or that has got core or whatever. They've removed all that jank, supposedly. So balance should be even easier.
Well, and also, like, if you've got to think, right, if you wanted to get into Horus Heresy, and you picked up that Horus Heresy tome, and much like us, you were like, it's a bit wordy. this is being put together by someone who is possibly blind and illiterate. But so what you could do, right, is seeing as that all the Heresy units for Space Marines is available at 40k, you play 40k because that's your main game. Guess what? You could play Horus Heresy using 40k rules. You could purchase everything. You could play the system that you know how to play in the universe that you like and the universe that you love without having to buy loads of Horus Heresy books and learn the Horus Heresy rules. You could still play Horus Heresy just with 40k rules, and you could be happy. And live in peace.
It's just not done on balance. That's an excuse.
So a Phantom Titan hasn't been out in Legends. Are they balancing that for a 3,000 point game? If so, how are they doing that? What armies have they balanced a single model against? It's not balanced.
It's not balanced. I agree with you, Steve. It's not balanced. That's an excuse.
Are you going over the chapter's article or only ranting on the shit? More ranting incoming. Enjoying your thoughts on these besides just having brown noses.
Well, I want to, but we'll see. We're going to have time. I'm starting to calm a little bit. I just need to get that. I'm just so angry about it.
I was going to start an OG paint scheme Crimson Fist's armor using HH models for 10th. Guess that's not worth it now. I'll go back to Bolt Action soon.
Oh, don't get Joe started on Bolt Action.
Fucking love Bolt Action.
Bolt Action channel in 5 days.
Bolt Action, you could buy models from other companies and use those.
If I believed that GW could support a balanced but non-tournament version of the game, this might be less a bit horrendous. I just don't feel bad for Sysam/we players with Demon Engines/Dread/pods.
Honestly, the people that are hardest fucked by this are Chaos Space Marine players, World Eaters players. They just are the people hardest fucked by this, because they're probably the people that I think have seen the most use out of Heresy or these specific Forge World units that they're moving to Legends, right? And it's just flat fucking wrong that they've been treated this way. Space Marine players, little bit of hurt, but they do have a ton of options in their book.
But much less. Like, they've been through the 9th edition codex, they got absolutely smashed.
What did Space Marines?
Yeah, in terms of like what they can use, and also they got really restricted on what units can use what now.
Yeah.
Like, why can
Bloodstone Fortress literally purchased a Kaitan last night. Honestly, return it, new inbox, and fucking ask for a refund.
Yeah.
And then shit in the letterbox.
Send 2 boxes back.
Yes, yeah. One that says on the front, "This is not a poo."
Yeah.
40k Bolt Action when. Don't get him started. We'll be a bolt action channel in 7 days. Thank you so much to George Vincent for 5 gifted memberships. You're a hero. Oh, Inquisitor, by the way, thank you so much for your first ever super chat. You're a legend. You're a hero. George, thank you for the 5 gifted. Lara, thank you for the 1 gifted. Kianan, thank you for the 10 gifted. You guys are incredible. We're at 91 for the stream now. Thank you so much. Memo Man, is that right? Anyone who thinks this is only a competitive problem, how many games have you played with your venerable chaplain Dreadnought? Exactly. This is my point. So first, thank you so much for the first ever super chat. You're a hero. This is what I'm saying. People don't play with legends. So everyone goes, oh, you can still use them. It's not a problem. Bollocks. People don't play with legends. I know so many people that if you go, oh, I'm going to use this. What's that? Well, it's a legends unit. Yeah, I don't. They're not balanced. I'm not going to use legends unit. Yeah. It's just people don't use it. I don't think we've ever used a legends channel unit on stream. I don't think we ever have. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've ever used a legends unit on stream.
No. I think we've played Gobbo. No.
Nervous about saying this cause willpower but was getting Leviathan box. Now, it's a genuine maybe. I like having 4K mentor options, but now, maybe stick with my 8K Tyranids and not start Marines.
I think it will put people off.
The interesting thing about Leviathan is that the fact that if you don't play Space Marines or Tyranids, there's literally no reason to buy the box.
No, there isn't. No, absolutely.
Right, and I kind of worry that there's going to be a bit of an uprising, a revolt.
I mean, this isn't the right time to announce this right before you drop a fucking massive product range and go, hey, buy all this new shit. Unless they've done it on purpose. Unless the timing is on purpose. There is a possibility that they are releasing the Leviathan box soon for pre-order, and they'll just try and hope that this shit is washed over by a wave of positivity because of the new edition. Which is again another underhanded tactic, let's face it. You know, Chaotic Failure, thank you for the 5. You're a hero. Rambo, thank you for the 5. Surely Heresy stuff could be used in 40k. Just give the stuff epic hero keywords. You can take 1 to show how rare they are 10k years later. Well, they tried to do it with the CP thing, Rambo, something like that. Yeah, you could have given. I guess you could have given Leviathan epic hero, so you can only take 1. But people own 3. This is my point.
Yeah, like, I had no issue when. There was a time when you could only take Leviathan Dreadnoughts and Relic Dreadnoughts and stuff in Space Marines if you had a Tech Marine on the table. Which made sense because he was there to make sure it was fixed.
I am so jaded after this, it makes no sense. I think people really need to start viewing 3D printers as a serious option. I will be.
Well, Kai, like I said earlier in the stream, man, I've always been a person who says if they still sell the product, then please, please, please buy the product and don't 3D print it because it's essentially complete copyright infringement and IP infringement, etc., etc., etc. And I'm a creator, right? I wouldn't want someone selling my content and making their own money off of it, you know, obviously. But I also don't intend to rip you fuckers off as frequently as I possibly can. I mean, the odd stream like now, or I try. No, I'm joking. But I obviously don't intend to rip you people off. I don't intend to just shit on you and take your money and go fuck you. But if they're gonna, like I said, what I said, Kai, is so people bought Kaitan. How much is a Kaitan on the Forge World website right now? Right, so there's a couple of people in here.
I think it's 120.
Dats and Des included. There's a few people in here who have bought. I'm going to go to the Warhammer 40,000 section, Joe, because they're still for sale in the Warhammer 40,000 section. Right, we'll go Chaos Space Marines. We'll go for a Kaitan.
What's the first thing on the Chaos Space Marines page?
Oh, Storm Eagle gunship, brilliant, good, okay. Is it in the Chaos Space Marine section? Or is it?
Oh yeah.
So a Kaitan. This is what I was saying earlier, Kai. Right, and I never thought I'd ever actually say this. Okay, I never thought I'd actually ever say this. A Kaitan is £117 and 50 pence. Some people bought a Kaitan yesterday at £117 and 50 pence. And today, Games Workshop says, yeah, you can't use it. Fuck you.
Well,
so if you printed that, you're talking about 10, 12 quid for resin.
They could simply given Firstborn and equivalent Primaris vehicle the same rules and reduce SM units that way or YR Scouts and Phobos armor units.
Oh, no, the whole Space Marine update to Primaris was a complete clusterfuck, and I've said forever they did it the wrong way. They just did it the wrong way. But yeah, so this Kaitan, right? They've just shat on people. Now, if you'd have 3D printed this, people can correct me because I don't know 3D printing. 10, 20 quid for resin, and you can print yourself a Kaitan. Now, you'd still be pissed off if you spent 20 quid and they retconned it the next day, but you'd be less pissed off than spending 120 quid and they retcon it the next day.
Well, it's like if you just spent £212 on a Charybdis.
Well, yeah, that's now illegal. Or £205 on a Greater Brass. I have a Greater Brass Scorpion. I have Dave the Greater Brass Scorpion, who I can never take to a tournament now.
Yeah.
Who's £205. I was lucky. Mini Wargaming Dave gifted it to me because I have a massive penis. But if I'd have bought that, as a lot of people in chat have said they've got great brass scorpions.
How much are the drills, the termite drills? A flat hundy.
A flat hundy.
Right? And how many Chaos Space Marine players own termite drills?
At least two. At least two, because they're so good. Anvilus Dreadcore drop pods, £82.50.
The Decimator doesn't even come with its guns.
I noticed they didn't tell everyone that they're going to stop selling these units at the same time they put the prices up. They put the prices up first, sold them for a while, then told everyone they're not going to use them anymore. Nice. Good work, GW. Good work. Cunts. Right. Rambo, we've done that one. Thank you so much, man. You're a hero. William Wills, thank you for the 5. GW claim Redemptors should be so rare. They are legends, yet we see a Primarch in almost every Marine list. Well, I mean, there's that as well, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we're making all this. So he doesn't mean Redemptors, he means Contemptors, obviously. Yeah. We're making all this Heresy stuff legends because it was around in the Heresy, so they're not common, but every man and his dick's got an Angron.
Yeah. Well, I think even says Redemptors should be so rare they are legends, right? There's three Dreadnoughts in the Primaris, in every Primaris list. Which means that, what's that, 1 in 10 Space Marines, or 1 in 10 of all Space Marines is a Dreadnought. Basically. Yeah. When they're literally only like veterans and captains get put into Dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
Not
every man in his knob, yeah.
Not every Space Marine that gets wounded goes into a Dreadnought.
Chris, thank you for the 5. I emailed my contact at Games Workshop's Investor Relations on what I see as unethical behaviour. It is unethical. Bright Hammer, thank you for the 5. I will miss Joe's 3 Leviathans pretending to be Decimators. All of them not usable.
I can't even pretend for them to be. I can't. Like I could. The problem is that I could put my Leviathans on oval bases and pretend that they're Hellbrutes, not Hellbrutes. Mauler Fiends.
Yeah.
The problem is, it looks like he's going to be on a sled, like sliding around everywhere. I will be using Contemptor Dreadnoughts as Chaos Hellbrutes because I hate the Hellbrute model. I think it looks stupid, right? And also, it's so small now. I put a what's it called? The Death Company Dreadnought next to a Redemptor, right? It looks like when you see those like parent and child Halloween matching costumes.
Yeah,
it's so small. So I need to go do Element and order the Contemptor weapon sprues so I can just take all the arms off my Contemptors and turn them into Hellbrutes.
Someone said a word that's just triggered me a little bit, right, as well. I wonder how many data sheets in the Space Marine Index there will be for lieutenants. So balance is the problem, but they still might have 17 different data sheets for lieutenants.
Yeah.
Potentially. Ginger Steve, thank you for the 5. You're a hero. The thing that annoys me the most is it limits tanks. That's most important because Darius said he'd quit 40k if it became World of Tanks. Less likely now.
Well, don't worry. Tanks are tougher now, despite the fact that all anti-tank weapons do 1 million mortal wounds.
Yeah. Well, most of all, thank you for the 2. 3 Claws, 2 Kaitans, 2 Scorpions, 3 Decimators going back. That's mad, man. Yeah. Well, Rambo, thank you for the 5. You should have started a swear jar before the stream. Oh, God, no. Today, it would have been overflowing. Bonsai Kitten Gaming, thank you for the 2. Monkey, tears fuel me. Vect would be proud of GW. Vect would be proud of GW. I also want to address some
to be honest,
in chat.
Drakari aren't doing well on the Forge World front either.
Well, no. Because all that stuff went to Legends as well, didn't it? The Tantalus went, didn't it?
They've still got the Tantalus.
Oh, okay. Which is the big ship thing that went?
The Reaper, that went. The one with the big dildo gun in the front,
Yeah. So some idiot will watch this and actually shit in a box and send it. Maybe chill the rhetoric. If it's a difference of opinion, that's one thing, but you're actually encouraging the abuse of CS stuff. If you think I'm actually encouraging the abuse of CS stuff, you shouldn't be in the streaming. You should probably unsubscribe and fuck off. It's as simple. If you actually think I'm telling people to shit in a box and send it, if you think that's me being serious, this is not the channel for you. Fuck off and watch someone else who needs your viewership, like VT or something. Tantalus for now, says Memo Man. Yeah, well, for now, exactly. That's the problem. You never know what's going to last, do you, ultimately?
I'm amazed that you have not been drinking.
I was close.
That's just an honest comment from your heart.
It would have been worse, right?
Like obviously, we don't endorse the... Like a case we need to put like a trigger warning at the start. We don't endorse the attacking of GW staff.
No, but you don't need to put that in there, Joe, because the only people that take it seriously are fucking stupid. Yeah. So we don't need to put that in there because it's never a real thing. And if you know the channel and you know who we are, you know that's not a thing. People that put those kind of comments in there just don't need to be in the audience. They need to go and sit in a dark corner and touch themselves.
It's just Darwinism.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
No mention of Thunderhawks being a legend. Yeah, well, because they're expensive, aren't they? You want to sell more of them.
Yeah.
With all the money in the swear jar by now, you could buy yourself a nice treat of Forge. Oh wait.
Well, I mean, by Heresy arming.
Legion Palace is savage. No, it's not savage, right? Again, we're just honest here. Me and Luce had this conversation a number of times, and a little while ago we said, you know what? Fuck trolls and shit posters and stuff like that. I'm done with it. Like, too many people are too frightened of what they say on social media in case they trigger someone or they incite something. Fuck that. No, we'll speak our mind. This is nonsense. What GW have done today is absolute nonsense. They fucked over a lot of people who have spent literally combined, we're probably talking millions of pounds across the whole of the audience that plays this game. And they've just said all that stuff that you spent, all those millions of pounds that you all spent combined, you can't use them really anymore. And a lot of people, there's people out there that go, oh, you know, it's fucking... it's only in tournament play. I know people that only play tournament. The only time they can get to play is by booking a tournament weekend. It's the only way they can do it. The only way they can go and play Warhammer 40k is by booking a tournament weekend and playing 5 games.
Yeah.
People like Warmaster Will, who, dare I say this, Will, and I'm not trying to be offensive here, but Will's not a tournament player specifically, but the only time he gets to go away to play for a weekend is by coming to a Factorum GT. Now, if we play and we want to submit our results to the ITC, which we do because it brings more customers in, we have to play by Games Workshop's competitive rules. So we have to follow their rule set and not include these Legends units in our tournament pack. But Will's only way of coming and playing 40k is by coming and playing 5 games for a weekend on the 1 or 2 weekends he gets off a fucking month. So to say that, it only affects tournament players is absolute nonsense, because a lot of people play tournaments who aren't tournament players, as what you guys are thinking of tournament players as, but they're just casual gamers who go, well, I actually get to play 5 people for a weekend and enjoy my hobby for a bit.
I've got friends that I only see at tournaments.
Exactly.
It's literally the only time they can leave the house. Not literally, obviously. They're not chained there. But...
I've just seen Kai.
Damn, I didn't get the memo for the last 5 minutes. I've been squatting over a shoebox curling one out. Damn, Liam, can't you be more clear, please? No more brass scorpion, but hey, at least the Corn Lord of Skulls is still legal. Sad about my own dreadnoughts being unusable now. I am one of those people who only plays by going to tourneys.
Exactly. So there's a bunch of people out there. There's a load of people out there. We have worked incredibly hard at Factorum with our tournaments to make them as accessible and as friendly as possible. So anybody can come, even if it's their first tournament. We've had people turn up and play their first games of 40k. So even if it's their first games of 40k, they've turned up and they've come and played a tournament weekend. And we want to encourage those people to come through the door because they meet the community, they chat to people. And I want them to come back, and I want them to come back, and I want them to come back, right? And I would say of our audience of entire players, we probably got, of everybody that comes and plays at the GTs and the RTTs, 5 to 10% of them are actual competitive players who are genuinely tracking their ITC score. Now, I want to keep attracting those players as well, so we want to keep submitting our results to the ITC. And being ITC registered is a selling point when you're selling a ticket to a 40k weekend. It just flat is, because it's an industry standard nowadays to be ITC registered for a tournament. So we want to keep attracting those people, 100% we do, and it gives us more chance to sell out at that event if we are in fact selling it as ITC registered, right? Okay, so we want to keep attracting those people, but we also want to keep the rest of our audience. But what I'm telling you is that 90% of our customer base aren't tournament players, but they're playing in tournaments.
Yeah.
And now, by GW's ruling, they can't use those Legends units.
Yeah.
So when people go, it's just tournaments, it just affects tournament players, it's an absolute nonsense argument.
Yeah.
And you people just don't understand how it actually fucking works out in the real world.
And like it's like they said in the previous super chat, right? If you can take one lion, who there is only one of,
yeah, exactly.
Right? There is only one of them, and there will only be one lion, right? Surely you can take one Kratos. You can take 2 Contemptor Dreadnoughts. There's a lot more Contemptor Dreadnoughts out there.
Yeah.
Right. So I just.
Yeah.
It's just really, really, really...
40k Medic, thank you for the 5. Custodians can still take all their shit. What the fuck? Yeah, well, because they sell more, right, don't they? Matthew Clay Music, thank you for the 2. My 3 Reapers are crying. I'm sure they are, mate.
You could use them as Ravagers.
Inequity, thank you for the 2. Please, could we hear your thoughts on Space Marine chapters? Yeah, we'll get to that in just a moment, I think. We'll skim over that because I'm just so angry about this. Calador Pogrego, thank you for the 5. On the bright side, they didn't move me, Legends. No, but I might. Dave, thank you for the 2. New chat plays game. Carrot in a box or shit in a box.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can't smell it. Only by hand touching.
God, Ed says, clearly we need to start up a new tournament circuit with blackjack and hookers or something.
Yeah.
Are you plugged in and ready to talk? Good. You can talk to Joe for a minute because I need to have a wee-wee.
I was going to go for a wee.
Oh, you can go now. You go first.
I feel like I need to dilute the temper in here because I'm in the corner planning the home ed stuff, and I was like, oh, he'll be fine. And then voices were raised, swearing increased, and I went, okay, I'm plugging in. I'm diluting the testosterone in here. Chill.
I'm not chilling about this, though. This is a shit way of treating people. And they need to be called out on it. I've always said we'll call them out when they do shit things. This is our opportunity to call them out because they've done something shit.
True, and I know that the people who watch you know you're not being serious about shitting in a box and posting it. I know that. They know that. But it's a game.
It doesn't know. Yeah, but right. You're not wrong. It's just a game, but we're not talking about the game. We're talking about the tens of thousands of pounds, hundreds of thousands of pounds people have spent.
Do you know what
So that's not just a game, that's money.
Do you know what I first saw when you were chatting about it in the kitchen? I genuinely thought, how many spouses are, well, how many people are not, well, I guess panicking? Because now their armies are irrelevant and it was hundreds, thousands of pounds, and that was out the family budget. Yes, it's a hobby and you need a hobby, but it was out of the family budget and now it can't be used. And my thought was, oh, holy Jesus Christ, you're going to have to explain that.
Paint the doors says, turn her mic off, testosterone levels are fine. Right, I'm going to use bathroom, Joe, so you can talk to chat for a minute, right? Okay. Just crush my fingers.
Yeah, I see. Like, basically, a way of putting it in context for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a governing body of homeschooling?
Yes, I get
So
regulated.
the governing body of homeschooling went, right, you could now we want you to use this
hold
new
on.
syllabus.
I should probably correct you there. It's not a governing. Oh, this is
Right,
you've
basically-
accidentally entered a very tricky topic.
Okay, basically, there's a bunch of people who look after the thing. Said, by the way, you can use this syllabus.
So even that's not correct, Joe. I'm so sorry. I know. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to be a dick.
Okay, basically, the government went, we want you to teach this to your kids.
Right, yeah, they
homeschooling, right?
can't do that.
Yeah, but if they did, it's the government. They do whatever they want, just willy-nilly.
Let's choose a whole other.
Just stop being so picky, all right?
I'm not being picky, but vocabulary is important.
Nah.
I'm not trying to be a dick.
Who uses
I love you, Joe.
vocabulary?
I'm not trying to be a
Basically, the government went, we want you to teach this to your kids.
Right, okay.
But all the stuff that goes with it will cost you about 500 quid, right?
dick. Yeah.
You have to do it. And
Yeah.
then, say they did this tomorrow, and you forked up the 500 quid because the government says you have to do it.
Okay.
By Christmas, they said everything you've spent teaching your children, none of it's valid.
The panic would be
You-
if that was to happen.
Yeah.
I think the panic would be enormous.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know if I don't. Oh, I'm so.
Or, right, if you had a homeschooling check and they said to them, like, you've been doing it, your last visit, you were great, everything that you put forward is perfect, and if they came and visited you tomorrow and said, what we said last time, yeah, and you've carried on doing that, but we've changed how we assess things,
Yeah,
and
that
it's all
happens.
wrong.
That happens.
Yeah.
And then
You want to murder them on the spot.
And then the homeschooling community, home education community, do a Kickstarter, hire a lawyer, and they get put back in their lovely remit box.
Yeah, so hire a lawyer. There must be loads of lawyers.
But they're not illegal. But nothing they've done is breaking the law.
I know, but let's be honest, Games Workshop have done some questionable law breaking over the last 6 months.
I do wonder this. I do
Ish.
wonder this about Games Workshop when they bring a book out and then they FAQ it, and I think how.
Well, what's great is that Games Workshop have knowingly released and sold things that are wrong on release.
Yep.
Like
And that's not going to stop either.
they released a book, right, which was missing rules, which you then had to print off. So they sold you something and told you that it wasn't in there, but they still expected full pay for it,
Yeah.
right? It's like buying a car from a dealer that's brand new that when it came off the back of the truck had a massive dent in it, and they're like, well, we'll give you a new door, but you have to pay for that as well.
I bet that's happened. I bet that's happened.
What are you doing?
Nothing, don't worry.
Oh.
I'm just moderating chat. Don't you worry.
Yeah. Luce doesn't like my vocabulary in terms of homeschooling.
Why?
I use the wrong words.
It's such... Joe, honestly, I've fallen in so many potholes of this topic myself because... it's,
All right, then,
it's
at your
such
allotment,
a
right, the
divisive
government
and-
says you can only grow these potatoes, right? And then it's 6 months' time when they started sprouting. I know it's quicker than 6 months, but whatever, right? And then the government were like, those potatoes are illegal.
Not a sob story, but the Factorum tourneys were my main way of playing for a year or so. Travelled 7 hours to play. Brought stupid lists and had so much fun, due to people too. Almost every list is now illegal.
Exactly.
I think we'd have to do a fun tournament and a boring tournament. Just alternate them.
But I don't want to do that.
Let's talk about something neutral, like...
Oh, there is new rules that have come out as well.
The
Ben,
weather.
thanks for the 350. Shared justified salt is quite tasty. Pour it on. Bruce, thank you for the 2. Mandatory. No, Liam. Please tell us how you really feel. Anyway, Face A Dreamer, thank you for the 5. I am still also in the doghouse with my Yanari army at the moment, so I feel that absolutely. Zena, thank you for the 5. Gifted, you're a hero. Brood Paul, thank you for the 1. Gifted, you're a hero. Matt, thank you so much for the 20. I'm very sad that's happened.
Do we want to look at chapter rules now?
Do I want to look at chapter rules right now?
They might make you feel better.
Will it though? Will it?
How long is the cup of
Potatoes.
tea going to be after this?
You
is
making tea?
over? Because
she just said you
sometimes,
make tea.
Oh, I love a
sometimes
cup of tea.
I love a
I'm
cup
not
of tea.
making one now. I'm busy.
No tea bagging though.
But you just said, yeah, no tea bagging.
So
but you just said you'd make a cup of tea.
Sometimes after stream we have a cup of tea to decompress because sometimes when stream starts we don't have a commute to work, which yes it's lovely, but
I do.
I valued my commute to work. I didn't realise I did until I didn't have it anymore. And then we go straight into stream. So sometimes we have a cup of tea just to chat about our day. So how long, if you go through the next topic you want to go through, how long is the cup of tea after stream going to be? Because I have a very early start tomorrow.
Well, you could, if we had the cup of tea now.
I'm not making it now, Joe.
You're not making it now, but you just offered it.
What is the point?
After stream, Joe.
You just offered it.
I was surprised she's even out of the kitchen.
Boycott 10th. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to boycott 10th
No, I'm not excited for
because
10th.
I'm very excited for 10th edition.
Yeah.
All right, okay, so we are going to screen share some 10th edition rules for you people whilst Luce makes the tea.
I'm not making tea.
Why did you bring it up then?
Because you wanted to do another topic, and I think we should talk about something neutral, like the weather, or puppies, or...
You've got one more 40,000 dart for that. One more 40,000 faction focus Space Marine chapters, okay. So this was nice to find out that they're actually doing chapters for the chapters that have their unique units, because so far they kind of haven't really said too much about it. We're going to stop talking about the current bullshittery and arsefuckery of Games Workshop right now, right? Did someone make sure that John Boy saw his way out? The Angels of Death. Every Space Marine is truly legendary warrior, but even amongst the 1,000 or more chapters that exist, there are a select few who have earned the greatest fame. Some date back to the Fable first founding, while others have earned their name through sheer excellence and unquenchable zeal. Regardless of their reason for renown, they'll all fight in a way that sets them apart. These 5 chapters are the stars of our penultimate faction focus, and with so much to get through, we can only skim their surface. Rest assured, there'll be plenty more to see when their data sheets arrive later this month, because it's now June, okay? Overview. Some overview stuff, right? That through the methods of modern warfare may differ, Dark Angel, Space Wolves, Blood Angels, Black Templars, and the Death Watch all draw from the same many old training regiments. As such, they will retain the Oath of Moment. So they keep the Army Rule Oath of Moment for every single one, right?
Which is pick a unit, reroll hits and wounds.
Pick a unit each battle round, reroll hits and wounds for every other unit in your army, right?
Strong, innit?
Each chapter is instead represented as a detachment with its own rule enhancements and stratagems. You can still take, as far as I understand it, the Gladius detachment if you want to, okay? This means that any Space Marine army can choose to use these detachments should they see fit, provided they abide by their restrictions. No matter how much you love librarians, you won't be taking Space Marine Psychers in a Righteous Crusade detachment. The main one you'll need to worry about is that you can't mix in units with a different chapter's keywords. So no non-Space Wolf name characters or Deathwing Terminators in the Champions of Rust detachment, for example. So for me, the way I understand this is that you pick your army, Space Marines, and you get Oath of Moment. You then pick your detachment, and if you're playing Dark Angels, you should get access to both the Gladius detachment and the Dark Angels detachment, I think, okay? Right. The Dark Angels don't focus on a particular style of combat, choosing instead excellence in all forms of war. Despite their mastery of plasma weapons, swordplay, and high-speed interdiction, it's their unshakable grim resolve that they're truly famed for. A dour and practical outlook on warfare. So Grim Resolve is their detachment, so you go Dark Ages and you pick the Grim Resolve rule. While Adeptus Astartes unit from your army is battle shocked, change the objective control characteristic of that model to 1 instead of 0. I actually think it's a big deal.
It's super strong, especially when you go up against armies like that are probably going to have massive like objective secured leadership.
Yeah.
Manipulation.
I think changing people to OBSEC 0 or objective control 0 on objectives is actually going to be a big tactical play in 40k in the future.
Because if your objective secured is 0 and you're the only unit on the objective, you still can't hold it.
Yeah, you don't hold it. If you're the only unit, but you're all objective control 0, you don't hold the objective and you don't get the points for it.
So it means that you can leave that tiny little squad out at the back and not really worry about never being able to hold it.
Yeah. So it's actually a pretty solid rule. It's good. It's not super powerful, but it isn't bad. It's a good rule, and it's kind of narrative, I guess.
Yeah.
Buoyed by the ability to hold objectives to the very last man, the Deathwing can teleport right into the heart of the battle as an immovable barricade, safe in the knowledge that points will be scored no matter the cost. The Deathwing command squad packs a laundry list of special abilities, including the only apothecary you'll find in Terminator armor. His Nartha Sim can bring back a whole Terminator every single turn. That's up to 4 wounds of value for shield-bearing veterans.
You love apothecaries.
Fucking hate apothecaries, honestly. Right, so Terminator stats, as we expect. While he contains an apothecary, you can return 1 destroyed model to the unit. Cool. While it has an ancient, add 1 to the objective control characteristics of its models. While this unit... this is interesting. If you have a banner and you get battle shocked and you go down to objective control... Oh, you're objective control 1 anyway. Do you still then +1 for the banner?
I guess so.
Just add 1 to the objective control characteristic, and battle shock changes your objective control characteristic.
Yeah.
That's quite good.
Very
So with a banner in their unit, there'll be objective control 2, even with their battle shocked. While this unit contains a company champion, add 1 to advance and charge rolls made for this unit, and you're to target this unit with the heroic intervention stratagem for 0 CP. Ooh. Okay, cool. So all 3 of those are going in every Deathwing command squad without fail.
Yeah.
Without fail.
What does the champion have? Does he have like a fancy? He has that big fancy axe, doesn't he?
The champion, 1 Deathwing command, any number of Deathwing.
What, the command squad is 10 Terminators.
No, it's 5 to 10. So you take it has an ancient, it has an apothecary, it has a champion, it has 2 other Terminators.
Not historically just 5 as a command squad.
The champion's equipped with a halberd of Caliban, which is a precision weapon, so you can target characters. 5 attacks, strength 6, -2 damage hitting on 3s.
A 10-man Terminator squad that can heroic intervene for free.
Yeah.
That's...
And can keep regenerating Terminators. Get back up.
Strong.
Get back up. Get
A
back
Storm
up.
Shield gives you an extra wound.
Yeah. Because they already have the invulnerable characteristic of 4+.
Good, isn't it?
Finally, the Dark Angels have recently been joined by a Leonine celebrity from Days of Yore, right? Remember, they're removing these Legends unit because of balance. Remember that, right? Yeah, it's Lionel Johnson. If you missed out on the Lion and Retinue box, lol, you won't have long until the Lord of the First gets a solo release. We had hoped he would make his individual debut before the new edition came out. However, we also wanted to ensure you had enough made up to fulfill demand for such an incredible model, like you didn't the first time round. We're making more and will therefore be putting him up for sale as well. These articles don't fuck themselves, don't they?
Right.
I wish someone at GW would read their articles and be like, stop putting this stuff.
It's almost like they need managers.
Yeah. We're making more and we will therefore be putting it up for sale as one of the first Warhammer 40,000 miniatures released after Leviathan drops. To make up for it, here's his datasheet. He's a beast, and you can check out how he stacks up against his bluer brother here. So he's a beast that you can't have because we're not releasing him yet. Okay.
Yeah.
8-inch move, toughness 9, 2 up armor save, 10 wings, leadership 5 Joe, objective control 4. Right.
Jesus.
Let's just quickly look at this thing over here where it says fights first, which means if you charge him,
he still fights.
Fights first. Right?
That's the problem.
Primarch of the First Legion. In your command phase, select one of the abilities see left. Right, that's pretty normal. The Emperor's Shield. Dog shit before. Right, terrible.
Well, it gives him...
Wasn't a shield.
A 3-up invuln?
It used to give him a 4-up invulnerable save.
Oh.
And he did mortal wounds on 6s up to 3.
Yeah.
Each time an attack the target's model, subtract 1 from the wound roll. -1 on the wound now, right? In addition, each time a melee attack is allocated to this model, on an unmodified saving throw of a 6, attacking itself as 1 mortal wound after it's finished making its attacks. Not capped at 3 anymore. Okay? And now a 3+ invulnerable save, not a 4+ invulnerable save. So it's now actually the Emperor's Shield, finally.
That's very good.
Yeah. While he's within 3 inches of 1 or more Adeptus Astartes infantry units, he has lone operative. So whilst he's within 3 inches of anything Space Marines, right? Anything Space Marine infantry, sorry.
Yeah.
You can't target him unless you're within 12 inches.
Oh, because he can't join a unit.
Because he's not a leader.
He's not a leader.
Yeah,
All right.
okay. So he can pick one of these, right?
Yeah.
So he gets all secrets revealed once per turn when your opponent targets units from their army with a stratagem, but before the stratagem's effects are revealed, if that unit's within 12 inches of this model, you gain a CP and that enemy unit must take a battle shock test. If the test is failed, in addition to that unit being battle shock, that stratagem's effects are not resolved, that stratagem still counts as having been used this phase. So I'm within 12 inches of you use a stratagem, and I decide to pick up this ability. It's once per turn as well, right? Not per battle round, per turn. Right, use a stratagem.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool, I'm going to use my ability. So you take a battle shock test. If you pass, cool, everything's okay. If you fail, you're battle shocked. You don't get the benefits of the stratagem. You still spend the CP. Oh, and during all that, I also gain a CP.
That's mad.
Right? Martial Exemplar is one of the other abilities you can pick. You pick an Astartes unit within, or while an Astartes unit is within 6 inches, each time it makes a melee attack, add 1 to the hit roll, so +1 to hit for all of the Dark Angels, right?
Nice.
Or any of the Space Marines in general. And it's just Adeptus Astartes unit. Tanks. Contemptors. Oh, no, wait. Leviathan. Oh, no, not those. Sicarians. Nope, not them. Kratos. Oh, no, not them either. No hiding from the Watchers is another aura. While an Astartes unit is within 6 inches from this model, it has the Feel No Pain 4+ against mortal wounds.
That's strong, isn't it?
He's a fucking busted data sheet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With his 8 attacks with lethal hits.
8. So let's go to his weapons, Joe, right? So he's got his crazy pistol, right? Which has got a plasma and a bolt version.
Yeah.
4 attacks and 2 attacks. 2-2, 4-8, 1-3, 2-2. It's a good pistol. That's decent, okay?
Right, yeah.
And he can pick one of these, but then he has fealty.
Yeah.
So he can either go strike or sweep. Sweep gives him exploding critical hits, right? And then strike gives him automatic wounding critical hits. 8 attacks and 16 attacks, both hitting on 2s, strength 12 or strength 6, AP 4, AP 3, flat damage 4, flat damage 2. He is a monster.
Yeah.
He's an absolute he's literally a monster. He's a monster. But he's an absolute monster.
Yeah. On a side note, I noticed there's a positive thing that's happened from your swearing.
Okay, what's that?
Josh the Enigma. Liam swearing has had positive results. My wife has just bought me some earbuds so Liam swearing doesn't ruin Grey's Anatomy. Keep up the good work.
All right, see, we're providing a service to the community, right? So there we go.
You
Lionel
sound
Johnson.
calmer.
Oh, is the kale boiled?
No.
I mean, to be fair, someone did say, Liam, where was it? Was it in here? Someone did super chat and say, loose, please. Chris says, pretty please would you make the 2 grumpy men tea loose? It would make them happy. Also, Jojo, did you enjoy your toys? I haven't shown you this yet. It's in the garage. Space Wolves. Okay.
I'm excited for this because I've got loads and loads of Space Wolf stuff.
The
Let's get
chalk
ready.
to the Dark Angels cheese, the Space Wolves are ferocious frontline fighters who have loved nothing more than a good scrap, a loud chorus, and a big old tankard of Fenrisian mjod. Right? Their chapter maintains a proud history of storytelling with characters competing to fulfill deeds worthy of saga in the midst of combat, the better to boast about when the battle is inevitably won. So this is their detachment rule. You can still use the Gladius one. At the end of the battle round...
What's the Gladius one?
The Gladius one is the Space Marine one where you get like Assault Doctrine, Tactical Doctrine,
you
whatever,
get
right?
Doctrine, yeah.
At the end of the battle round, you can select one of the sagas listed below. If that saga was completed by your army during that battle round, all Adeptus Astartes models from your army gain the associated benefit until the end of the battle. You can only select each saga once per battle. So you can do all of the sagas, right? Of which there's
do they
3,
stack?
4. Yeah. At the end of the battle round, you can select one of the sagas listed below. If that saga was completed by your army during that battle round, all the Astartes models from your army gain the associated benefit until the end of the battle.
Nice.
You can only select each saga once per battle.
Okay.
So you can do all 4. Okay. Saga of the Warrior. If an Adeptus Astartes character model from your army destroys an enemy character, right? The benefit, melee weapons, get exploding 6s.
That's good.
Okay, Sergeant of Majesty. If a character model, right? If you control one or more objective markers in your opponent's deployment zone, and at the end of that, either player's turn during the battle round and one or more character models from your army were within range of that objective marker. So basically hold an enemy objective with a character. Your bonus, okay, improve objective control for all models by 1.
That's good.
Deep Striker, Wolf Lord and Terminator armor onto the backfield objective. Jobs are good, right? Yeah. Saga of the Bear. One or more character models from your army was reduced to below half their starting number of wounds during the battle, but were not destroyed. Right? Your whole army gets 6 up for no pain. Tasty.
Yeah.
And Saga of the Beast Slayer, if one character model from your army destroyed one or more enemy monster or vehicle models during the battle round, you then get 6s to hit auto wound for your whole army for melee weapons.
That's very... See, it's really good, but character reliant though, isn't it?
It's yeah.
It's because you basically...
But I'm hoping they can make epic, cool Space Wolf characters, is what I'm hoping.
Basically, this is the hope that Space Wolf characters are probably better than everyone else's characters.
Yeah.
If they're the ones that have to do all the heavy lifting...
I mean, obviously.
You kind of want them to be kind of like what Chaos Space Marines is now.
Yeah.
Where your units are a bit meh, but your characters are terrifying.
Yeah, like you want scaled up Terminator Grimnar to be terrifyingly good.
Yeah.
Like actually terrifyingly good as a warrior. Yeah. But his other units maybe a bit of chaff, right? So, but beneath their boisterous behaviour and irrepressible wildness, the Space Wolves are valiant as any other Space Marines, despite the disdain for I'm already sad, by the way, right? Instead of Gulliman-approved battle formations, they form their warriors into specialist units like Wolfguard, Bloodclaws, and even in the age of cool Primaris Space Marines, this is a tragic push.
If you're showing off a unit for an army that's been around since the beginning of Space Marines, right?
Yeah.
And they've got access to all the Space Marine units, right? Why would you show off this unit?
It doesn't make sense. Although they are Reavers that look better than Reavers, they have anti-Psycho 4+ devastating wounds and precision with their combat knives. So at least their combat knives can do something. Let's hope that Reavers get...
Basic Hounds of Morka anti-Psycho, so you'd hope that normal Reavers get devastating wounds.
Yeah, well, these get devastating wounds against Psychos. These get devastating wounds all the time. But they get devastating wounds against Psychos on a 4+. They get devastating wounds on their pistols against Psychos on a 4+.
Reavers are going to be good.
I mean, I hope so, because they've been flat shit forever. I only
ever see people put Reavers on the table, ironically.
Select one anyone within 12 inches of the unit. If a lieutenant in Reaver armor is leading this unit, you can select one enemy unit with an 18 instead. This unit must take a battle shock test, subtracting 1 from the result if they're a Psyker. If it's failed, then in addition to being battle shocked, it's stunned until they start your next shooting phase. While a unit is stunned, each time a model in that unit makes a psychic attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. And they get a 6-up invulnerable save, which is improved to a 4-up against psychic attacks. Now, don't get me wrong. If I'm going to see a Space Wolves detachment, I want to see a Wolf and Dreadnought, or I want to see Logan Grimnar. I don't want to see fucking Hounds of Morkai. But I do look at this data sheet and I think, oh, not selling enough Reavers, are you?
Well, I mean, they got Scout 6. So, does this mean that this is what Reaver's going to be in the future? Scout
I
6?
don't know.
This could mean that they actually become good.
Yeah.
Bangles.
Bangles.
Or Flesh Terrors.
This is for Joe.
I'm very excited.
Angels for Joe, right? Yeah. The Blood Angels are perhaps the most beloved and respected chapter in the galaxy, known for their glorious self-sacrifice and willingness to defend every one of the Imperium citizens. Yet, despite this nobility, their gene seed harbours a terrible flaw, the Red Thirst, and urges them to acts of unbelievable violence in the heat of close combat. Red Thirst is your rule. Each time in a starting unit from your army is selected to fight. If that unit made a charge move this turn, until the end of the phase, add 1 to strengths and tax characters in melee. It's slightly worse than current World Eaters, because you only get it if you charge.
Yeah.
You don't get it if you're charged to perform a heroic intervention.
+1 in attacks is what they get from the Super Doctrine currently. So that's kind of stayed, but it's better because you get it every turn.
But you get +1 of strength instead of +1 of wounds, and you don't get it if you're charged. So it's a bit worse, but it's still good.
I'm not against it.
I mean, like I say, my World Eaters get +1 attack and +1 strength on the charge, and that's good.
If you're charging with Blood Angels, you normally want to murder what you've hit.
Yeah.
Basically.
With the compulsion for bloodshed fully clouds the minds of Blood Angels and transforms into the infamous Black Rage, they're inducted into the fallen ranks of Death Company. Here are they shaped into a weapon of pure, mindless fury that only dedicated chaplain can soothe. And why are they? They've done it again. You've got Sanguinary Guard, Death Company with jump packs, Death Company Dreadnoughts, Furioso Dreadnoughts, Librarian Dreadnoughts. What are they showing? Death Company Intercessors.
And you see them everywhere.
Who wrote this fucking article? So Black Rage might be something that's across the board for Death Company, so have a look at that. Each time a model makes an attack, you can reroll the hit roll. Okay, fewer rerolls though.
Yeah.
While this unit is not within 12 inches of one or more friendly chaplain models, it cannot be selected to fall back, and the objective control character is 0, so you need chaplains nearby to keep them honest.
I don't have an issue with that, let's be honest. They're just angry men in black.
Once per turn, you can target this unit with the Fire Overwatch stratagem or the Heroic Intervention stratagem for 0 CP.
I mean, Fire Overwatch stratagem, massive waste of everyone's time, but...
For this unit, it would be, yeah.
For that unit, it's pointless. But Heroic Intervention, very, very good.
I mean, They're all right, but you could have shown us so much more interesting. Oh, wow, they've got another interesting unit, right? Many of the successors have risen to fame, like the Bloodthirsty Flesh Terriers. The chapter master Gabriel Seth is a great example of the way name successor chapters worked in the new edition, getting all of the benefits of the parent chapter's attachment, but without the ability to mix epic heroes. Seth, right? This model is equipped with a bolt pistol and blood reaver. This model is the Flesh Terrors from the Flesh Terrors chapter, a successor of the Blood Angels. For all rules purposes, it is treated as a Blood Angels model, but cannot be included in an army that includes any other Blood Angels epic hero models. So no Dante and Seth.
Yeah. I'm slightly sad that he can't join. Right. This is a history lesson for everyone here, right? There's about 10 Flesh Terrors alive. Baby Flesh Terrors, you know? Firstborn Flesh Terrors. They're all dead. Right? Dead. Not enough to fill a rhino, right?
Not enough to fill a Spartan.
Too soon. Right? He can only join Assault Squad, Command Squad, Tactical Squad, and Vanguard Veteran Squad.
Mini Marines.
Mini Marines, none of which are alive. Why not just only... why not give him access to joining Primaris unit?
They're just ablative wounds, so let's look at the rules. I like the fact that he can't benefit Blade Gun anymore. Anyway, 6-inch move, Joe. Toughness 4, 3 up save. He's a space marine after all. 6 wounds, leadership 6+, objective control 1. I don't think there's any surprise there.
His stats have stayed exactly the same.
He has a bolt pistol.
Whee.
Cool. He has Blood Reaver. Exploding hits.
Toy.
Tasty. Remembering that he gets +1 attack, so if he charges, so up to attack 7.
Yeah.
Hitting on 2, strength 9 if he charges, AP -2, flat 3 damage.
He's the same as what he is now.
He's okay, he's not bad. He gets out at the moment. While this model is leading a unit, that unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it advances.
That's strong.
Well, I mean, it is until you see what he joins.
I know, but if he's coming out of a Land Raider...
Yeah, fair. Each of this model fights until the fight is resolved. Add 1 to the attack scope, so gives this model's Blood Reaver for every 5 models within 6 inches of this unit. It has to be enemy models. If you attack a unit of 5 models, on the charge, he goes up to 8 attacks. That's strength 9.
If they're 10. Or if he runs into an Orc army.
Yeah, he's just fucking flat murdering, right?
Yeah, with exploding 6s. And he gets Oath of Moment, so he gets to re-roll those hits.
If that's the target.
If that's the target.
Yeah, if that's the target. Invulnerable save 4+. He's not bad. He looks alright, actually.
Wow. Hang
Looks
on,
okay.
go up. So, the keywords, right, up to the Death Company. What's Tacticus?
Alright.
Do we know what Tacticus is?
Keyword, isn't it? Don't know what Tacticus
I've
means.
seen that one before.
No. He's okay, apart from the fact that he can't really join any impressive units.
I mean...
And they're still showcasing him with the model. So he's not got Legends rules, but they don't even sell the model anymore.
Oh, no, right. You can...
Here comes the trigger!
Stay calm, Joe. Stay calm.
You can get the made-to-order one, right, which you will receive for Valentine's Day.
Next year.
Next year.
Yeah, of course, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you can buy a made to order currently, but you know, whatever. Right, okay. Black Templars. Did we mention he's an absolute blender in close combat? Throw him at a huge number of orc boys and watch their heads fly. Black Templars. Oh, this is where I'm interested.
Yeah.
Right? Have you ever felt like the galaxy could do with a bit more faith and love for the God Emperor? The Black Templars agree. And the Templar vows, they swear, provide a choice of powerful abilities for every Adeptus Astartes unit from your army. Okay? Right. Templar vows. At the start of the first battle round, select one of the 4 Templar vows to be active for the Adeptus Astartes units from your army. So you pick a vow at the start of the battle. So you see your opponent, pick a vow. It's kind of similar to how it works right now.
Yeah.
Okay? Suffer not the unclean to live. Melee weapons get lethal hits. So melee weapons... So with Space Wolves, you've got to do a saga to get this. Just turn it on. Just go auto wound with melee weapons. Cool. Uphold the honor of the Emperor. Models in this unit have a Field of Pain 6-up ability and a leadership character of 5+. Space Wolves, got to do a saga for this. I just pick it, but I also get leadership of 5+. Okay. Abhor the Witch, destroy the Witch. Models in this unit have a 4+ invulnerable save against psychic attacks, and melee weapons equipped with models in this unit have the anti-psychic 4+ ability. Don't need hands and more, Kai J. Just pick this one. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Accept any challenge no matter the odds. Melee weapons equipped with models in this unit have the exploding 6 ability. Got to do a saga for this if you're Space Wolves.
No. There's balance here. There's some.
Yeah, because the Wolves can get all 4, but the Black Templars pick 1.
Yeah, but you have to. The character has to get the final kill on the unit. So
all
the
Wolves.
The Wolves, yeah.
Yeah.
So if he's in a 10-man unit and that 10-man unit kills what you need to do, because that character can't kill the other character in a oneer.
Yeah. This is going to be hilarious against... I mean, someone's already said it. Literally reads, fuck you, Grey Knights and Thousand Sons. Yeah, it does. Their ability lets them choose to start the battle to fight on whether the terms best suit their game plan, but let's not fool ourselves. Whichever vow they swear, the end results will be dished out with a chainsaw. Do you know the difference between this and the current version? There's no passion, there's no downside, no negative to any of these.
You're saying they've lost their passion?
Yeah. The Sword Brethren. Oh my god, they actually picked a relevant unit. The Sword Brethren dominate up close, wielding a variety of weapons to cut down elites and chaff alike. Their Vow Sword Bladesman ability gives the Black Templars commander even more decisions to make in this simplified but not simple version of 40k, choosing between more attacks and more damage. 6-inch move, toughness 4, 3 up saves, wounds 3, 6+ leadership, 1.
3 wounds is good. Puts them on par with what Blade Guard.
They get Oath of Moment. Val Swarm Bladesman. At the start of the fight phase, you can select one of the following effects to apply to melee weapons equipped by models in this unit until the end of the phase. Add 1 to the attacks, add 1 to the damage. So you have a power weapon here and a mastercrafted power weapon. I'm going to assume that most of them are just equipped with power weapons as standard, and mastercrafted power weapons is an upgrade, I guess. I don't know, because it doesn't tell us what the fucking thing gets.
Yeah.
But and their big problem was always that they were 1 damage power weapons.
Yeah.
And Blade Guard were 2 damage power weapons. But you just add 1 to damage characteristic.
Yeah.
They become 2 damage power weapons.
And you give them exploding 6s for their vow. Is that right?
You can give them exploding 6s for their vow, yeah. You could do. That's the thing you could do, yeah.
Scary.
Yeah.
Scary Mary.
That's not bad. Deathwatch. Does anyone actually fucking care about Deathwatch?
I would like to see.
Don't sneak out to make tea. Make tea for all of us, all right? I see what you're writing in there.
What's
I pay
that?
attention. I might try and sneak out of the bunker to make tea.
No, I'm quite comfy, I might say.
Yeah, okay. I see.
No, I don't want to
Have we got
get
any
it thrown
biscuits?
back at me.
Do we have any
To go-
biscuits?
to go with
We
that tea.
don't
Did you
have
buy
any
us biscuits from Morris's? Is it still
No,
open?
I didn't.
It's still open for half hour.
No.
You got
Shut
time?
up your ass.
You
I'm
got
not
a bike?
going over. Joseph, what is wrong with you today?
Angry.
So disrespectful.
So angry.
The Deathwatch are not a chapter per se, but rather an organisation that takes the best and brightest of Space Marine chapters for dedicated Xenos hunting. The demands of the missions, which might find them chasing down Ardari one day, rooting out a genius to the cult another, require flexibility above all, and all Deathwatch veterans are trained to enact varying mission tactics at the perfect moments to succeed against impossible odds. Pick a mission tactic. At the start of your command phase, you can select one of the mission tactics below. Until the start of your next command phase, that mission tactic is active and its effects apply to all units from your army's ability. Each mission tactic can only be selected once per battle. Oh look, exploding 6s for weapons, all weapons. Oh look, auto wounds for all weapons. They're original, aren't they? At least.
Balance.
Here's the same rules for every faction, worded slightly differently. Oh look, that's quite interesting. While this mission tactic is active, each time it starts from the army makes attack. If a critical hit is scored, it gains precision. The 6s to hit will gain precision for characters. So they pick this each battle round because it's in your command phase, essentially. That's not bad. So you can change throughout the game. It's quite good.
Not bad.
I think.
But you can only do it for 3 turns though.
Why? Oh, each can only be selected once per battle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get three battle rounds of one of these.
So you do nothing turn 1.
So turn 1, you might want exploding 6s on your long range weapons. Although if you're Black Templars, you get on everything. Your melee weapon. Anyway, the heart of Deathwatch forces kill teams which combine the skills of equipment of many different Space Marine units into a complex, adaptable team. Deathwatch veterans are the apex of this philosophy, kitted out as a necessary for a long range firepower or crushing melee combat, and with particular knack for bringing death to the alien. Death to the aliens. Each member of this unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. If that attack is less rerolls, though, Joe, fewer rerolls, right? If the target of the attack does not have the Imperial Chaos keyword, you can reroll the hit roll instead.
I mean,
It's fewer rerolls.
it's better than their current rule.
Yeah. They've got some stuff and things. Deathwatch Thunderhammer.
A long vigil ranged weapon. The hell is that?
Anti-infantry 4+, devastating wounds, rapid fire. I mean, it's not bad. It's a combi weapon, Joe.
Oh.
It's a combi weapon because it's got the exact same rules as combi weapons. They just called it something different. Simplified, not simple.
Keep it simple, stupid.
There's only one more faction focus left in our series, and it's a doozy. The Adeptus Titanicus wants a piece of the new edition. Oh, the Heresy Titans.
These guys have got an Astarte shield, not a storm shield.
Yeah, because why wouldn't you call it something different, Jay?
Oh.
Why would you call it the same thing? I mean, it does the same thing, but why would you call it the same thing?
That would be madness.
It's like OBSEC. Our new version of OBSEC. Right? There's only one more faction. I'm in a fucking bad mood with GW today. There's only one more faction focus left in our series. It's a Doozy Titanicus. Because, you know, those Forge World, those big, expensive Forge World Heresy models. And they bought their own data sheets to show off how big their numbers go. Even if you don't pack any of these Bodil for Gorons in your army case, you won't want to miss it in case a Warhound darkens your deployment zone in the not-so-future. Okay, that's that. I mean, Deathwatch seem interesting. Okay.
I think Space Wolves are the weakest out of all of them. Because
I don't know.
Because you only way you get a bonus is if
that very
your
much depends on how
characters
good their characters are. So thank God they showed us Space Wolf Reavers. I really like Black Templars.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Do you know who I feel sorry for? Codex Space Marine.
Do you not think? Okay, right. Do you not think Codex Space Marines, with their combat doctrines, are better? At the start of your command phase, you can select one of the bottom. Until the start of each, you can only select each combat doctrine once per battle. So it's very similar to Deathwatch, right?
Yeah.
You can shoot in a turn you advance. You can fall back and declare a charge, or shoot in a turn in which you fell back. You can fall back and shoot, fall back and charge, and you can advance and charge. They're really good. I would
But
probably.
they're much better than Space Wolves. That's better than Space
Oh,
Wolves.
I'd take this for Space Wolves.
Yeah.
Fall back and charge and advance and charge, given that once per game. You make a tea.
No.
Where are we going? Where are you going though?
Nowhere.
Where you go? You are going somewhere. You're leaving the room. There's no kettle upstairs. You don't have to go upstairs to have a poo.
like Blood Angels. I mean, being able to shoot in a turn that they advanced, meh. But being able to shoot and declare a charge when fall back and charge, incredible. Advance and charge.
So people, okay, people saying Storm Shields and Adeptus Shields don't do the same thing. Hold that thought. Think about that same thing again in 2 weeks' time. Carry on.
So yeah, Blood Angels want, like Thunderwolves, for instance, would love advance and charge, fall back and charge. You just pick that every time.
Yeah,
if you're a Space Wolves player, you'll never use the Space Wolves detachment.
Here's an interesting question. What's better for you as a Blood Angel? +1 attack and +1 strength every time you charge, or the ability to fall back and charge and advance and charge?
Fall back and charge, advance and charge.
Death Company jump packs with Thunder Hammers and advance and charge. Bonk.
Yeah. The whole army just gets turn 1 charges.
Now, because of what they stated, I believe you can take this if you want to, instead of the specific one for the faction.
Yeah, you can. Because they said, when they announced the Space Marine stuff, it doesn't matter what colour your army is. You can choose the different detachment.
So I think there's an argument for what's really nice. Here's where I'll give them some kudos, right? What's really nice is if you're a Blood Angels player, you now have a choice of combat doctrines or your +1 strength, +1 attack. Yeah. And again, if you're a Space Wolf player, you have a choice: your sagas or your combat doctrines. And in that regards, I'll give them. There's a bit of variety there for Space Marine players. So Blood Angels typically have been like, I get +1 win on the charge. That's it. And +1 to charge, whatever it is. That's all I get. Get nothing else. They've actually given options now, which I think is a good thing.
Unless you're a Raven Guard player, in which case, I feel like they probably need something different.
But I like it when they give you more options.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. Unlike taking options away by making them legends. Still miss my old school Wolves structure and unit, says Jarl Tom for 2. Yeah, I mean, yeah. You just can't mix sub factions together. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you can. Doctrines are only 1 round, true. They are only 1 round, but then so's the Deathwatch thing. So you might pick, if you're Deathwatch, for example, AG, you might pick. And here's, oh, hang on. I need to look at something quickly as well. So here's the other thing as well, Jojo, right? Is the Deathwatch rule specifically. Let's go back up quickly. You can select one of your mission tactics until the start of the next phase with the mission tactics active. It's effective plays for all. Okay.
Why does everyone think I've gone for a poo?
No reason. I do hear the kettle on though. So BJ got happy.
I can hear chocolate too.
So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, Joe. Here's the thing. Right? This says you only get mission tactics for units with the mission tactic ability. Right? Each mission tactic is active. Its effects apply to all units from your army with this ability.
Oh, so kill teams.
Okay. So, but combat doctrines, right? All Adeptus Astartes units.
Oh.
If we go back to, let's have a look at your Blood Angels for your Flesh Tearers. This will be interesting. How's that worded? That's all Astartes.
Yeah.
So Blood Angels actually have a choice to make. Kill teams. It might be that you decide that Chapter Tactics is better because your whole army gets it.
Yeah.
Templar Vows. all the Adeptus Astartes. This is the little things that people miss that I like looking at. I like finding this.
So-
Like Grim Resolve. Sagas are Adeptus Astartes models. It's just Deathwatch that's limited to people that have got that ability.
Yeah, but then
That's
they've
interesting.
always been about specific kill teams, haven't they?
Pacifics.
They've had like the one they've shown off here. Then they've had like the Spectrus kill team and stuff like that.
John says the loose go in a box.
No.
Gosh, says Liam said it was a massive one.
Yeah. Todd Grindle, ignore what I said for now. Revisit what you're talking about in 2 weeks' time. All right, just trust me, okay? For fuck's sake, I can't say anything else. Anyway, Brennan Duck gifted 5.
What a lad!
Finest memberships, Joe. Do you know what that means?
What does that mean?
We're gonna get tea.
We're gonna get tea.
Yeah. It means we've
I'm
got to
getting tea.
102 gifted memberships. For
I
the
always
night.
make you a cup of tea when I make tea.
That's
in
true.
your house.
Yeah,
That's
but you always say it's awful, Luce.
No, I don't.
You don't say it's a reward
She
getting a
takes
Joe cup
it,
of tea.
smashes it on the ground,
No, I
spits in
don't.
my face
No,
every time.
I would never
Yeah.
spit in your face, Joe. Never.
I hand her the cup and go teabagging.
She doesn't. She never spits in your face. It's behind you and you're not looking.
I'm convinced that Luce hates me.
What? I just made dinner for you.
I
And
hate.
I had the one that had the leaf in it.
The bay leaf.
Fuck
A
Grim
whole
Resolve. Give me Gladius, says Jonathan Rizich. There you go. So I actually think that even Dark Angels players advance and charge on Black Knights.
Raven Wing Bikers, yeah.
Right, so you can take advance and charge on Black Knights, or everything gets objective control one of his battle shock. I still don't think Grim Resolve's gonna be that terrible because I think there's gonna be loads. I think people could typically tech really hard into and making you fail your battle shock test, so you go to objective control 0 and you can't hold any objectives. So I don't think it's bad. I just think Gladius is better. I hate watching narrative battle reports, says Mystics. I love watching match play with a narrative, if that makes sense. 100% makes sense. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when we do.
I don't mind narrative battle reports, but I often find when people do narrative battle reports, sorry to cut you off, they go on too hard of a skew with the rules and it's hard to follow, or it's got too much of a swing for a particular player.
Well, we always we did the Tyranids Blood Angels one, didn't we? Where like a whole unit would have to be destroyed and then we could bring it on at the back, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Paddy just went on for ages and cheated and won.
Yeah.
So I just
Fuck Paddy.
he just
Shit in a
makes-
box and send it to Paddy. There will be so many Tyranid players. There probably will be so many Tyranid players, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there will be lots of Tyranid players, to be fair. I hate what... Oh, I've already read that one. I would wait 2 weeks, but the difference won't change. You're not seeing my point. I'm not gonna dwell on it.
I don't know if there'll be many Tyranid players or whether there'll be many Tyranids on eBay. I reckon there'll be a lot of people that'll buy that box set for the Space Marines, and they'll try and find a Tyranid player to palm the nids off onto, or they'll just end up on eBay.
Well, if you think about it, the Tyranids box is
the
arguably slightly better value because you only have... Wait, what do you have? You have 2 characters? You have the
You've got
Neuro Tyrant and the Wing Jobber.
the Wing Jobber, and
And the Neuro Tyrant.
yeah,
So actually, multiple sets of the Tyranid box probably make more sense than multiple sets of the Space Marine box. Because you've got lots of what looks like they're probably going to be battle line units.
yeah.
Space Marines, the Pyro Men, I can't see them being battle line. The Terminators definitely won't be. The Stern Guard won't be. So I feel like there's more of an argument to say that you'll have one Space Marine set,
Yeah.
and multiple Tyranid sets. So I actually think they could do quite well on eBay, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah. Because I think, because no one's going to be buying lots and lots and lots of gaunts.
Yeah.
Because I imagine painting lots of them will be horrible.
Yeah. Lehman Russ says, I feel kind of sad. I was going to Forge Yard this Sunday to buy stuff. Guess I'm going to keep my money. I would, mate. I would, depending on what you're going to go buy. You have the rules for the Space Marine Codex, don't you? Wink, wink. I can't say that I do, no. I definitely don't have the rules for the Space Marine Codex. Forget the game, gents. Free the nipples instead. Brilliant. Thanks, Biltong Boob. Free the nipple, Jay.
Just get a bam
Does Games Workshop have to keep refreshing the armies? Can they not just leave it all?
If they want to sell models, don't they? Because that's right. If you own everything,
Yeah.
I imagine there's someone out there that owns everything. Once you own everything, like
Done.
you're done, and then they start making money. So they have to keep bringing out new stuff all the time to keep you buying.
I'm kind of massively confused by the whole operation of it. Massively confused. I buy a book that's the rule book, and then it gets FAQ'd, which makes some of the book irrelevant.
Yep.
Yeah.
After you've paid money for it.
And then nobody returns the book.
So
you will keep the book.
So supposedly when they did it to Votan, some people did return their boxes.
Yeah.
And
supposedly.
did they get their money back?
Well, I assume so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Hazardous Studios, welcome, man. I don't know if I've seen your name read before. You're not a member yet. So, my recently purchased Forge World Contemptor Dreddy is now unusable in 40k. Sounds that way, yes. I haven't even started building it yet. It was one of the last Death Guard full body contemptors they had at Warhammer World. So you can,
you can use them as Hellbrutes.
strictly you can use it in 40k according to Games Workshop. But if you're taking it to an event that runs a competitive rules pack, no, you can't use it.
If you've got a double fist Leviathan, you could probably use it as a Brutalis.
But he said Contemptor. He said Contemptor.
But you can use a Contemptor as a Spudnort, can't you?
You want to use yours as Hellbrutes, essentially,
Yeah.
don't you?
Hellbrutes, yeah.
You want to use yours as Hellbrute, so...
So then, if they
Completed it, mate.
FAQ the book that makes some parts of the book irrelevant, and it makes you mad enough to return the book, which I think I would end up returning the book, why do you keep playing?
Sean Williams
if
says...
it's not even the 10th time they've done it.
Sean Williams says, don't think about it too hard, Luce. It makes less sense the more you think about it.
Yeah.
I know, I did giggle at that.
Don't worry, Luce. Games Workshop are currently selling books that they FAQ'd 2 years ago, so all the rules that are currently in those books are all invalid.
Yeah.
But why do you keep playing it? I don't understand. If
We're in too deep.
this-
Right, we can't. To stop playing now would invalidate 20 years of my life. I can't stop now.
I don't have enough
The
time.
thing you need to remember is, right, and one of the reasons why... So the thing you need to remember is this. One of the reasons why we get so passionate about things like what they've done today is because this isn't just a thing people do because it's the convenient thing to do. People are fully invested in the hobby. People live and breathe the hobby. People like Joe exist, right?
Yeah.
Who, when he's not painting the hobby or building the hobby, he's reading stuff about the hobby, or he's listening to audiobooks, or he's looking on websites, or he's searching through Forge World. And people literally spend all of their free time, and sometimes even some of their work time, in the hobby, right?
Masturbate.
They just don't, because this is one of the things Games Workshop has done very, very, very well over the course of the last God knows how many years they've been in operation. And that's that they make it all consuming, but they make it fun and interesting and exciting, and you want to learn about the new narrative, and you want to know what's going on, and you want to, the reason why it does it so well is because there is so many aspects to it, from building, painting, collecting, learning, reading, listening, playing video games, playing tabletop. Like, it's so all consuming. So when they fuck around, I think typically if some people, if they've kind of just dipped their toe into Warhammer 40k and they have that experience, it's very easy to pull their foot out and go, nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not interested. I'm not gonna be treated like that, right? I get that. If people have been involved in the hobby for 10 plus years, who have tens of thousands of pounds of the product, who have spent a very, very, very large amount of time learning the lore, honing their painting skills, building their gaming groups, getting to know people, learning how to play, it's a lot harder to pull yourself out of that and go, fuck it, I'm going to go find something else. It just is a lot harder.
That's insane.
It's investment. It's investment. The more you invest in something, the more you are invested in that thing, the harder it is to then pull yourself out of that investment. That's true of everything in life, really.
Because where my mind is you're all so loyal, and if you don't have free time, you'll make the time to do the hobby. So at what point are you all gonna think,
All right.
I'm worth better customer service than this? If we all, I don't know, if you and maybe 10 mates who play it, if you could spend the time tracking back every single purchase you've ever made for GW, don't tell your wives, but every single purchase you've ever made, imagine getting that number, sending it to GW and going, and you're giving us this back.
But this is the thing as well, right? We are very invested in this hobby.
Well, that's the fuel of his rant.
Exactly. But let's face it. Let's look at this community, right? I'm very invested in looking after my community. I'm very invested in people having fun, enjoying themselves, having a safe space. We have a Discord server, that I'm incredibly proud of, that we monitor and manage, and people like Dats and Des and Dave B keep an eye on it, because I'm 100% invested in this hobby. It's my business, right? And we want to make the community we want to make a community that's comfortable, that talks to each other, that learns off of each other, and what you find is this thing then becomes more than just a hobby. It becomes your social life, and it becomes your social interaction, and it becomes the people that you talk to, the people that you share interests with, etc., etc. And that's exactly what you've just said. When you take in all of that investment, time, money, effort, brain power, all of that investment, and then Games Workshop treat their customers like they have today around these particular models. And my personal opinion is Games Workshop's customer service has always been pretty terrible. Now there are caveats to that. So if you deal directly with their customer service because you've received a product that's not up to standard, they're normally very good at getting you a replacement very quickly. That's a caveat to their generic customer service experience. What I say about the generic customer service experience is they just kind of stick shit out in the ether and just kind of expect you to swallow it. Like, hey, we're doing it, get on with it. They just don't really take into consideration quite often, or it seems at least. And one of the things they're very, very bad at, one of the biggest things they're bad at, one of the things I try and make sure we don't do, or we do opposite to how they behave, is they're incredibly bad at communication. And I've said it already on the stream tonight, they never give you honest. They give you corporate line, they never give you honest.
But the thing is, there's people that love Warhammer.
Yeah.
They hate Games Workshop. There's people that have worked for Games Workshop for 10 years, left it, despise it to the very marrow in their bones, right?
And then make a channel.
And then make a channel, and they really fucking love Warhammer, right? It's like a weird kind of
this
horrible
is what's
relationship.
Confusing me.
Yeah.
Because if I was to say to a girlfriend, so I bought this thing, I don't know what thing it is. I bought this thing and now I can't use it, but I'm not going to take it back, and it costs me hundreds of pounds. She'd probably slap me around the face and drive me to the shop.
Yeah. No, of course. No, of course. No,
it's
right.
insane. I'm so confused.
Right, okay. I'm trying to clarify for you as well. And here's the problem. And this is for me. This is all part of the mistreatment of customers.
Yeah.
Okay. So if let's say this that I'm building at the moment was one of those units, right? This is a £100 model, 105 quid, something like
105 quid, yeah.
So we'll round it at 100, right? It's a £100 model, right? Let's say this was one of the units today that they've done what they've done with, right? So firstly, I can't take it back because I've started building it, right? So it's not.
Yeah, it's out the packaging.
Not new in box.
It's
okay.
not, yeah.
Okay. But even if it was, let's say I hadn't started building it, right? So the second I've started building it, they can't take it back off of me because I've already started using the product. Okay. And I'm going to say it's unusable as a product because I can't play it in my games. Well, they're going to say, yeah, but you might have actually just bought it as a model kit. In which case, you've used it exactly as it's intended if you bought it as a model kit, right? Okay. Oh. And then, if I do, so let's say I don't take it out of the kit, I leave it in the box, it's still sealed in the plastic, I take it back. They could say, because of what they've done today, but it is still usable. We've released Legends rules for it. You can't use it at a tournament, but you can use it in every other version of Warhammer 40k.
But that's not what they're doing.
I'm aware. But that gives them the corporate get out of jail free card.
And that's what, after spending the hundreds and hundreds of pounds, that's what they're giving you.
The problem is Games Workshop has for a long time, even now as a multi-million-dollar corporation, right, still act and behave like a family-run small business in a high street, right? They still act like dodgy pub landlords that sell you dog meat on a Sunday carvery because they kind of feel like they can get away with it because they're like, because we're under the radar, we're big, but we're not big enough for people to really. The thing is, like people care about Games Workshop enough to get really fucking angry on the internet about it, but they don't care enough to invest thousands of pounds to take them to court.
Andre says no money back, no guarantee. We're literally singing the fucking Only Fools and Horses song in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is the thing. The way that they go about their business is very it's quite underhanded. They don't treat their customers very well in general anyway. They're not honest. Like I said to people earlier, there's people going, hey, how come you didn't get an interview with Stu Black? Because there's 5 channels, I think, that have released interviews with Stu Black. They've not interviewed him. They've been given corporate lines. If you look at the content, it's just full of buzzwords and restricted, limited questions. Because Games Workshop are never going to... Like, I would love to interview everyone or anyone from Warhammer World who sits in positions who make decisions. I'd love to interview them. There's no way, whilst they are a Games Workshop employee, I'm ever going to be able to get an honest interview out of them. It just won't happen.
Yeah.
It just won't happen.
It's like asking a politician if
And if I did sit down, if Joe was the employee, and if I sat down with Joe and I had an honest interview with him, and he gave me the honest answers, not the corporate party line, GW Media Control would want to see it before it goes out, and they would say no, you can't release it.
And I'd probably get fired.
Yeah.
That's just a fact. So they don't communicate well. They're not honest,
But
and
I
then
would
they go, "Hey, you've
understand-
spent hundreds of thousands of pounds." Not our fucking problem, really.
I would understand if this was like one product launch that has somehow gone horrifically wrong or whatever, and maybe this is the biggest launch that this has gone terribly wrong on. But it just seems to be lots of little things along the way. Like this isn't a one-off.
And this is the thing, right? This is the thing. So again, we've already discussed this tonight. I can say now, because I'm allowed to say, that I've got a scheduled stream. Well, it's scheduled on the channel, so it's not like I'm hiding it. I've got a scheduled stream for 4 p.m. tomorrow, right, where I am going to be talking about the brand new rulebook because they've supplied me with one. I can't say anything more right now. My NDA says I can't give you the content of the stream, but I can say that's coming up. Is it convenient, or is it on purpose that this bad news bombshell drops the day before all the previews for the new rulebook come out? Or are they hoping that shit buries this shit? What are they doing? Of course they're hoping. Why haven't they told us about this? Because if they'd have told us about this particular Forge World change 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, you have 3, 4, 5 weeks of people being pissed off before all the new content starts coming out.
How do people work in that environment? How do you Ugh.
We work in that environment.
I'm just talking about it and I want to shake it off like rainwater.
A very quick turnaround.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But someone said in the chat earlier that they feel really sorry for Games Workshop store managers because they're the ones that are going to take the brunt.
Yeah.
Oh, they are. And let's be honest with you, right? I saw a comment well earlier in the stream as well. Those poor bastards just fucking flat don't get paid enough to take this brunt that they're probably about to receive. They just don't. Games Workshop's pay structure isn't the best anyway. It's not up to me to comment on how a business pays its staff, quite frankly, because that's up to the business. And ultimately, any worker who's unhappy with his pay should leave and go and get a job somewhere else. But they don't pay their staff particularly well. And they kind of rely, even with their staff lease, even with their staff, they rely on people that have such a passion for the hobby that they want to work for Games Workshop. This isn't just true of Games Workshop. This is true of a lot of brands. There's a lot of brands out there who don't pay as much as they could do, but they know that their brand name will be enough for people to go, I really want to work at Legoland because I get to work at Legoland.
Apparently that's the same for working at Buckingham Palace. Apparently they don't pay very well, but it's the prestige of having it on your CV.
Once you've worked at Buckingham Palace and that's on your CV, you can work anywhere.
Apparently, I don't know how true that is. I've never worked at Buckingham Palace, clearly.
In the meantime, there's some more things that have come through. First of all, we're going to stop for the biggest... Is it right to say one of the biggest members in chat tonight? Zena comes in and drops the big 50. Which she also did on Tuesday, Joe.
Yeah. She is
not Tuesday, last night.
You are the biggest member.
100 members from Zena in 2 days.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Amazing. You're a hero. Thank you so much.
For the pie.
That means I can buy a Kratos. But I can't use. Thank you so much, Zena. You're an absolute legend. I appreciate you. You're incredible. I love you very, very dearly. Thank you so much. Talking about members, Stranger Knocking Hobbies became a new member at Skulltier.
If GW was your spouse, you would divorce his ass for coercive control.
Yeah, you would. And then John McCardle, not to be outdone by Zena, not to be outdone by the other person who gifted the big fiddy earlier, whose name escapes me right now. Not Dang Skippy, was it another person?
It was
Sheep Avenger.
Sheep Avenger.
He comes in, drops another 50, Jay. Jesus fucking Christ. You know what that means, Joe?
What's that?
It means in the first stream of the month, 203 new members.
Month.
I do it for you now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You should say month, but I like to try and make you feel like you're, Thank you so much, Kai, for the 10. You're a hero. Talking about 10s, there's a number of other super chats that came through. So Built-in Boob says, for 2, thank you for the 2. Luce, what does a golf ball sit on?
The grass.
What comes after S?
Another letter of the alphabet.
Green Blood Crusade, thank you for the 11 Canadian.
You tell me off if I boil the kettle twice.
No. It depends on how soon after. Because now it's probably been sat for too long. It'll be too cold now. I drink it straight hot. I have it scalding hot. Let's tell you that. John gives another one, right? Just so he can be the biggest dick in chat. What a legend. Thank you so much. So Greenblock Crusade, thank you for the Canadian 11. So glad they just opened a GW store down the road so I can return these 2 Contemptors and 2 Leviathans. Do it, mate, honestly. Rambo, thank you for the 5. I'm very interested in my wife. It's very hard to pull out, he says. Much like 40k. Brennan Duck, thank you for the 5. It's a mental investment as well. Speaking of the lore, hard to just swap over to, say, Star Wars or Lord of the Rings. I am too deep into 40k lore. Exactly, but we are invested in the lore.
I would say that the 40k lore is probably deeper than any other sci-fi fantasy lore.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
It's also great as well.
Which again is really mad because until I met Liam, never heard of 40k.
Well, you've got to think, right? So, like, because it's not mainstream. Like, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but darling, when you met me, you were young, slim, and attractive. So you weren't.
Still had friends.
You,
who
yeah,
were
but you
into
were
stuff.
typical hobbyist, isn't it? Be the sort of person you would normally.
The way that you describe Coventry, I would assume that the only people that got involved with Warhammer are the people that broke into Games Workshop to sell it.
No, I know people who play board games.
Yeah.
And they were very clever people, and I thought, well, I can't socialise with you because you're too clever. I don't know what you're talking about.
Historically, whoever I went on dates with didn't really find out about Warhammer until they committed. Until I've had the.
What was your
will you
threshold?
be once they're definitely my official.
Oh, Joe, I was loud and proud.
Now, well, not now because I've got a partner now, but before then, when I was dating, I would be like,
I'd love to see Joe dating.
It was always like,
what's your moves,
like,
Joe?
oh, what's your
moves?
job? And it's like, have you heard of Warhammer? And they're like,
So
my brother plays that brilliant.
I had a kind of similar experience. People go, "What do you do for a living?" And it didn't take too long to realise that every time I explained to people what I did for a living without mentioning Warhammer, they basically just thought I did porn. Yeah.
I think, the way OnlyFans is, what do you do? We'll sit in front of the camera for a couple hours in the evening.
Yeah, people throw money at me.
Yeah.
They do the digital equivalent of tucking it in my G-string.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't find out. But now I have to explain what Warhammer is and the fact that I build and paint it
For a job.
Yeah, like my partner is like has no respect for my job. So it's not a real job. I'm like, on the grand scheme of things, it isn't. But
It is. It pays your bills.
yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Brennan, for the 5. Thank you, Cass, for the 5. We almost missed Chat Plays. Wait, what the hell is this Harry Bikers talk show? Where is Chat Plays? This is Chat Plays tonight.
It's the Chat Plays. Liam drops a C-bomb 40 times.
At least it's that we all vent at each other, and now we're calming down a little bit. I just think it's a really like underhanded, kind of dishonest, like lack of integrity move. I just really hate the kind of business practice. And I actually kind of, not to try and blow smoke up your ass, I actually really like the comparison with the gaming industry. You are typically aware when you buy a video game, especially a AAA title that comes out frequently like a Call of Duty or a Battlefield, that it has a shelf life. You might not know exactly how long that shelf life is, but you know it has a shelf life.
It's an average. You go like, this has value to me for minimum of a year, maximum of 4, kind of thing. And then after that, I know I have to buy the newest version.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like a games console. I have a PlayStation 5 here. I know that is not going to be the console for the next 40 years. I'm aware of that.
Yeah, but a metal Catachan that you bought 20 years ago is still usable now.
But a plastic tank you bought 2 months ago isn't, which is a bit shit. Rich Move, thank you for the 5. I'm hanging out the back of this hobby like a half-born calf. Valentine, thank you for the 11. Canadian. For me, I've made very personalised models that are very real characters to me. That have had victories and losses throughout the years. So that's where my investment is coming from. I get it, absolutely.
Do you know who I feel the most sorry for? Night Lord players. They lost their jump pack lords. And now
they're losing
lost
everything else.
The rest of the Forge World models.
JC, thank you for the 2. Is this an intervention? Always. Kiss, thank you for the 2. Joe is a national treasure.
Which we must protect at all costs.
He doesn't like it. He gets very uncomfortable. He calls it creepy. They were all putting it in the chat before the stream even started. He started going, I don't like it.
I don't like it.
So, obviously, Kai, thank you for that 10. John and Zena, thank you for the 50 gifters. You guys are incredible. I love you dearly. John, thank you for the 2. What have I missed for this rant? Not read it yet. I mean, you'll get through it, honestly. John, thank you for the extra gifted 1 to put you on the 51 tonight, just to make sure you are top dog, of course. And Will, thank you for the 2. I will super rage if they legend you on Blackheart. I mean, I think they should.
Haven't they?
No, I don't think so.
The Forge World one.
The Forge World. No, that's the what's his name thingy.
That's Huron.
It's not Huron.
It is.
Oh.
The Forge World Huron
They won't let you
is
He'll get anyone.
what was the campaign they did where all the Badab was the Badab war, and then he got taken over by Chaos, and then for some reason he lost his Terminator armor.
Yeah.
And he's like baby armor now.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys have been incredible. Thank you for all the comments. I noticed John Boy's back. Welcome back, dude. You can get this big as a business, and too much openness and transparency become a risk and will be used against you. Working at the NHS, it's no different. Everything communication gets run by corporate. I get it. I get there's risk, but there's a difference between controlled communication and absolutely no communication, and then you drop a massive bombshell, right? And this is where GW, they have even things like roadmaps and stuff like that, where they give you rough guesstimates, and they make sure they communicate that these are guesstimates based on product production, etc. You know, obviously some people are going to be arseholes, and some people are going to try and hold them to those dates. But what we get is, we're in a position where we get no communication whatsoever. They then drop this massive bombshell. They then have a terrible social media team with a copy and paste answer that just makes people more mad.
Yeah.
And it's like, what were you thinking?
I think the biggest issue at the moment is that Games Workshop is full of, like, a lot of the higher level people in Games Workshop 20 years ago were store managers.
Yeah.
Everyone below them is now someone who's just left university.
Yeah.
And then in between there, you've got a few people that know what they're doing, right? So you've got a lot of people there that have a lot of experience, but not in the right places.
I think a lot of those people that know what they're doing are leaving as well. Like John Blanche retired yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, he is old. He spent all of his Facebook posts are like, I saw a deer in the garden today.
Yeah.
I mean, he's living his best life.
He is, yeah.
So
he says it, not saying it doesn't suck. No, I get it. I'm not saying, like, the thing is as well, I don't know the answer. Okay, I've worked in senior management in a big corporate business, and I know that corporate runs a lot of the communications. And I know a lot of times, for my particular business, the reason why corporate ran a lot of the communications is because you couldn't trust what the disgruntled staff member at the bottom of the chain would say. So what comes out of Warhammer Community and what comes out of Games Workshop needs to be controlled by corporate. I actually think it's controlled badly currently for a number of reasons. Like the person who wrote the article about 40k, who goes less lethal, fewer rerolls, you know, he clearly didn't know what the fuck he was writing about. So there's less, that the communication in that regards wasn't controlled well enough, because now GW have got this reputation for saying one thing and doing another, because everybody, from what they've showcased, at least in the previews, thinks that there's as many, if not more, rerolls than ever before, and there's just as much lethality. Now, it might be that when we get our hands on all of the indexes and all of the rulebook, etc., we go, oh, actually, no, okay, it's not that bad. But the communication's been bad in that regard.
My plan is to build a Legends army and then enter it to a GW tournament. If I face issues, a folding table, some pop-up terrain, will battle outside a GW hall. Not my first rodeo for such events, GW.
Well, I mean, if you submit your list for that, Cass, as a Legends event, they just won't let you play at all, mate. Although I 100% encourage you to take a fold-up table on pop-up terrain and stand outside the front of Warhammer World playing 40k in their car park with a Legends army, because that would be flat incredible. Yeah. Back to John's comment, John Boy's comment. What I'm saying is the communication. I'm not saying they should just be free for all and tell us everything that's going on all the time. That would be bad as well, because shit changes, right? Production schedules change because supply changes. Things like fucking COVID happen, for Christ's sake, and throw everything out of whack. Factories break, machines break down, people are sick, but at least give some communication, or at least have the fucking audacity, not the audacity, at least have the integrity, the minerals about you to be like, this is shit and we're really sorry, but we need to do this to go forward.
The problem is a lot of the Warhammer community posts that go out, there's no humanity behind them.
Exactly.
When Votan got leaked and then the rules kind of got put out, they had they did that video, didn't they? Saying that we know that we've messed up, like we're having to change things, we're really sorry.
You're a good egg.
Blah blah blah. Thank you. And and they did a video about it, and people were like, "Well done, Games Workshop, for coming out about that." I kind of feel like this post today about the Horus Heresy stuff, that deserves a video. Say from like Adam and
I'm hoping maybe I've just overreacted, right? Maybe I've just overreacted. Yeah. I don't think I have. Looking at comments, reading comments, looking at super chats, I absolutely don't think we've overreacted. So I'm hoping we're not the only ones that make this kind of content. We're not the only ones that make this kind of noise. We're not the only ones that send angry emails. I'm hoping that this becomes a genuine wave. Of course, I don't actually want people shitting in boxes and posting them to GW. Yeah. Metaphorically, I do. Yeah. Metaphorically, I want you to really dump on a piece of paper digitally via an email or something and go, this is horrendous. So metaphorically, I absolutely want people to do this because they need to look at that and go, oh, we've really pissed a lot of people off. They need to know that they've done it. And you're the word you've used is 100% correct. There's just no humanity behind it. There's not even a we're really sorry. Yeah. There's no like for me personally, I don't even know if this is even fucking feasible as a business, but I'd love to be like, we will happily refund anything purchased within the last 3 months that's not been opened. Yeah. Like, they're never going to do this. I'm aware they're never going to do this. Chat. I'm not delusional. Don't worry. But they haven't even done that. And this isn't the first or last time they've done it. Like, I get Lucy. I totally get Lucy's question when she's like, when do you stop taking the fucking kicking in the nuts and go, I'm done with this bully. I'm going to go somewhere else. Because someone said it already. Pips in chat. I got over this with fantasy. Do it with fucking fantasy. They retconned a whole fucking game system. Yeah. A whole game system got binned for that nonsense when it first came out of Sigmar.
It's just a bit mad. I think like what they wish they'd done is just gone, we're making this decision because of this. The reason why we're stopping is because we want to separate the games, and we are sorry for everyone that will be upset. Like, I know there are some store managers that if you buy, because store managers can't tell you if something's coming out.
Yeah.
Right? So if you went in on a Sunday morning and bought a Space Marine Codex, and then at 6 o'clock that night, Warhammer Community goes, next week's pre-order, new Space Marine Codex. Like, the Games Workshop manager, even if you've taken that book home, opened it, read it, if you go in and be like, not most of the time, they'll be like, yeah, I'll exchange it, we'll give you a refund, because it's a week's time kind of thing. I don't see that level of anything coming from them now.
Well, that would be kind of the same as going shopping for, I don't know, a pair of shoes, and then when you go to buy them, the person goes, oh, don't buy them now because they're on sale tomorrow. Yeah. Like, think of how much money the retail industry would lose when they do their, like, Boxing Day sale. Yeah. We know there's going to be a Boxing Day sale, but people still buy it before anyway, because what if it's out of stock by Boxing Day?
Yeah, but you can still wear those shoes if they're on sale.
Hi Liam, Luce, and Joe. Missed most of the stream. Are you letting legends be used at future GHGs, and does Factorum allow legends in their narrative campaign, as I'm looking at dropping GTs for narrative? My hype for 10th has just taken a big hit.
Okay, this is an easy one for me, Tim. I will, at GHGs, which is super chill, anything that's a get-together, a Great Hall Gathering, people getting together, I will 100% allow all of these legends units to be used. We've always allowed legends. For the Factorum narrative, I can't make a decision on the spot right now because it's Factorum's narrative and it's CAD's narrative. He will ask me my opinion, and I will absolutely tell him that I think they should be used at Factorum narratives, and I don't see any reason why we wouldn't do that because there's data sheets. And to give you some context, when we started the Factorum narrative, up until very recently when we knew it was all going to be changing for 10th edition, we were using bog standard codex, we were using no balanced data slate, no monitor and field manual, we were using it right from the start. So if we're thinking about the way that these won't be getting updates, it's the same principle. So we absolutely will be using the Legends events at my events, and if CAD listens to me, which I mean, I'm not gonna speak for him, of course. But he normally does. We'll allow him at the narratives. And like, with the only place I will not be allowing these Legends units at the GTs because they'll be ITC registered.
Well, like everything that happens at GHG normally gets discussed and talked about within groups, and people arrange games before the event. So you could find someone you want to have a game with at GHG and be like, let's play Horus Heresy with 40k rules.
Yeah. Thank you for the big 50, Tim, as well. You're an absolute fucking legend. I hope work wasn't too bad. I'm assuming that's why you missed most of the stream. You're a hero for the big donor, though, man. Don't forget, 10% of our super chats does go to charity. Ginger Steve, thank you for the 5. Do you think I can get a refund on my 3 Xiphons I bought 3 years ago? They're still in a box, and I've never touched them. Or do I save them for narrative? Save them for narrative. Or like 28mm and Aeronautica. Yeah. Great fun, right? That's what you keep them for.
Do they still sell that?
Aeronautica?
I've not heard anything from Aeronautica in ages.
It's still on the website. John, no, I get it. I suppose as someone who barely plays and loves the minis, 3 Leviathans and Contemptors, this doesn't sting me so hard. Wasn't trying to start shit. Look, it's fine. I was on a rant earlier, mate. I'm not trying to fucking pick someone apart. Yeah. But like, I'm also conscious as a creator. I'm also conscious of the world that we live in, and often creators, influencers. I know Luce hates the word. I hate the word. Influencers get held to account for things. Do you remember when I was a kid, Eminem used to get taken to court because he told someone in one of his songs to go and shoot someone. It's like, it's a song, you fucking idiot. GTA, parents were suing the people that made Rockstar because their 11-year-old son had played a video game and thought it was acceptable to go around beating people up in the street. Like, yeah, people need to take responsibility for their own actions. Yeah. Is where I'm going with it, and that's why
we all need to be accountants.
So, and that's where I'm going with what I was throwing at you earlier, mate. I get it. It's fine. I understand that, that people do take people seriously and take people literally. If you watch the channel for any length of time, you'll realise that we're never that serious.
Do you remember when I used to be on another YouTube channel and I said that something happened that was like...
Yeah.
Did you not get my joke?
Which one?
We all need to be accountants for the accountability.
Oh, I thought you meant like...
Ah!
Because everyone that's OnlyFans says they're accountants.
All right, I'll think of another.
It's a good job you made tea. And to be honest with you, mate, this is my argument to Luce earlier, right? For the hobbyists out there, for the people that are sat there building model kits, right? These models aren't irrelevant if they're just a hobbyist.
Yeah.
So for people like you, if you prefer the modelling and the hobby side, they're not irrelevant. But for the player base, it's just really, really shit, right? Anyway, I appreciate you coming back in and chatting, man. So someone gift that man a membership, right? Yeah. If John Boy's got gifted turn on, someone gift that man a membership. Compassion is the key part of good communication. Exactly, Dominic. And the compassion is the only bit I'm asking for. I'm not asking for intricate detail of their release schedule. I'm not asking for intricate detail of everything they do. I don't want them to be completely open with everything that happens behind the scenes. I just want them to have a bit of compassion with the fact that they are strapping a big fat one on and fucking all their customers that have bought all these models.
Yeah.
And there are some people out there who are like, literally hasn't affected a single model I own.
Yeah.
Eddie, right? Okay. Eddie plays pure Necrons.
Yeah.
Doesn't own anything that's been Legends. Doesn't affect him one bit.
No.
So he's not going to feel this bad. He might think that it's a bit of a shitty thing for them to do, but he won't feel this bad about the whole thing.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Because it doesn't actually impact him. Joe, however, who has a Khitan, who has Leviathans, who has Contemptors, that's a straight fucking.
Well, it affects nearly all of the armies that I run, basically. So it's just proper shit, isn't it? But the thing is, also the people I feel sorry for, right, is like I said, the people that can't afford to have multiple armies. If you've just gone out and spent all your money up the wall on multiple Leviathans, Contemptors, right, that you've opened, built, painted for your Space Marine army that you want to take to a tournament, right, you might not be able to afford to now replace those models with something else.
Correct.
Right. So Games Workshop is just financially screwing people over at this point.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, 100% they are.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, when you look at some of these big models, when you look at a Khitan at 100 and something pounds, that's not for a lot of people, that's not a whim purchase. That's I want to buy that.
Yeah, that's like, I've saved up for 7 months to buy this now.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? Exactly. That's why I have one of the big problems with it, right? People, I don't know why you people fucking listen to me, honestly, sometimes.
Because you're the loudest one.
Cass, thank you for the 5. I'll explain why. Thank you for the 5. I know I am placing the table outside the Rhino at GWE. Be right back. Going to check the Teen Titans pop-up terrain. Legend. Thank you for the 5, Cass. Ginger Steve, thank you for the 5. I say we make our own hobby shop, but with Legend models, blackjack and hookers. Actually, forget the hobby shop and the Legend models. Just the last 2, though. Absolutely 100% agree. John Boy, thank you for the 5 again. Oh, well, actually, for the 5, for the first time, you're a hero. Anyway, you've addressed my comments enough so for free, so here's a super chat. Appreciate it.
Thank
I
you.
then said to everyone, gift that man a membership, right? So then, Flash Trouser Man's a whole different person, right? He gifted 5. John McCardle gifted 10. Zena gifted 5. John McCardle gifted 5 more. Tim Chaser gifted 5. And none of them, as far as I know, have actually managed to grab John. But we're now having a gift off. Did he put exclamation mark munch me? He didn't know, but I'm now concerned that he doesn't have gifteds turned on because no one's got him, which is a problem. Yeah. But thank you, people. Thank you so much for jumping in and trying to gift John Boy membership. You don't have to do that. I'm only joking. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why people listen to me because I say gift Munch a membership, and then hundreds of memberships later, Munch doesn't get a membership, and now it's happening all over again. Maybe these people. Have you all noticed that these people just turn up when Luce is over in the corner? Yeah. Maybe I've got Luce up on 17 accounts.
I'm not
and what
that
she's doing
smart.
is he's got it. John McCardle got him.
Oh, there we go. Danny McCardle.
Fucking nailed him. Exclamation mark Discord. Get yourself in the Great Hall server. Come and hang out with us. Come and chat to us. We'll continue discussions. We are about to finish though.
I'm not rubbing one out, by the way. It looked dodgy. I just realised in the camera it looked like
Did John get munch or?
There's a doggy.
No, John's just got John.
Okay.
John got John. No one can
John
get
got
Munch.
John. Okay.
No. Munch is the wobbly head man. He's a sniper's nightmare.
Ozzy just said now Munch is pissed.
Now Munch is really pissed. Thanks though, John, you fucking hero. 20 more gifteds. You're a legend, man. Thank you so much.
I'm not sharing my tea with you.
No,
You're
don't
not?
let her drink tea.
Danny Ricardo got him. This just proves that Munch is alive. Munch is loose.
I'm not Munch.
Although, John gifted 20 more, and it's only gone up by 10, which is interesting. So I can only do this right now.
There are 400 people in here.
Still.
Mad. Are they all like to subscribe?
Joe, I don't want to alarm you, but at the peak, we had 516 people watching us sat here like two fat bearded lunatics.
That's 550 more than Hellstorm.
It's one of our.
It's been a while since I thrown that one out.
I always, do you know what? I always hate it a little bit. I genuinely hate it a little bit when one of our most watched streams is a fucking complete rant and being completely negative. Because everyone's going to go, oh, that channel's really angry all the time.
What I hope is that tomorrow on YouTube, there's a bunch of things that you said taken completely out of context.
Yeah.
It's just
YouTube
like when
says
you
this.
tell someone to fuck off and go watch someone else. Out of context.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Liam tells everyone to leave. He hates YouTube.
So obviously you're not normally in here for Talking Heads. Lou spends the end of most Talking Heads streams worried that we're going to get cancelled,
Yeah,
and I don't give a
honestly,
fuck.
I go through an itemized list of, then you said that, then I said that, and then we laughed at that joke, and Liam's like, he's there getting ready for bed. He's stopped listening, he's getting ready for bed, and I'm following up the stairs like, then you said this, and then I said that, and then we laughed at that. He's locked the door, let the dog out, turned the light off, and then you said this, and now I'm really worried because then somebody super chatted that, and he's like, light off, Luce, it's bedtime.
Don't worry. Liam's got an email tomorrow.
Thank you so much, David, for the 5 gifted. Stop gifting now, people, for a couple of reasons. John gifted 20 and only gave out 10. David's gifted 5, it's given out none. YouTube's currently broken. It's too much, right? If you're
That's
in
too
chat
much.
and you haven't turned on gifted memberships, or you haven't clicked subscribe and then turned on gifted memberships, do it now in the off chance it might pull them through. But otherwise, everyone else stop gifting just in case.
Yeah.
Because if it gifts none, after a period of time, it will then refund the people that paid anyway. So
We don't want to give the money back.
I absolutely don't want to give the money back, Joe.
We're like Games Workshop.
Yeah. Oh, Davies has started being gifted up. Like Kev the Stab has just become a member. It's just woken up. Just in time for the end of the stream, says Madman. Absolutely. We're going to do another 10 minutes. We're off. We've actually done a full game stream time. We've done a chat plays amount of time tonight, Joe.
This is one of Brom's movement phases.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With knights.
John McGarner, we broke it. You fucking broke it, John. You're the breaker of streams. One of Davies has been given out, which is good, because at least if one of them gets given out, they don't get refunded anything. We keep all the money, which is is ideal for us. Kev the Stab is a great name. Make sure you gift membership 10 on the people, right? Otherwise you won't get gifted one. And if you want, quickly go to Google, create new account, click subscribe, turn on gifted memberships, and they'll pull them all through. Right?
I like it.
Yeah, and we get more subs in as well.
Whee!
We just don't have to do it like other channels, they buy them.
Yeah.
Two angry hairy chair sitters ranting new show. The thruple.
Do you know what would make this even better right now?
Pornhub.
Jelly Pocket.
A
Do you have a Jelly Pocket?
Loose.
A jelly pocket.
What's the best part
Yeah.
of a pork pie?
The jelly bit.
Exactly. So why do we put the pork in?
Yeah.
Why don't we just
I
put jelly
couldn't-
in?
No, I couldn't eat a whole pie of that jelly thing.
You have to have the mixture of textures.
Yeah.
For it to
Why can't we just make a jelly pocket?
be- Yeah.
No, I
Hello,
couldn't.
Nicky
I
dog.
couldn't have the whole jelly thing. That made me sick.
This was the thruple stream of salty men. There was, I know one guy, Mystics, I think, has been copying and pasting a comment.
Has he?
So I don't want to catch it. People keep copying and pasting, they clearly want me to see it. Biggest problem is Games Workshop is too big, or so they think, like Wizards of the Coast, where they can screw their most dedicated fans over and still not notice a loss in profit. I hate corporate.
There's always going to be enough people spending money that
Look,
the angry people will get ignored.
I think what I really want to definitely make sure I get across is in this kind of industry, in what they're producing, what they're doing, they are going to make decisions that are going to screw people over. That is unfortunately inevitable, okay? And I am not stupid enough to not realize that is inevitable. Okay? They are going to screw people over. We have seen it for years throughout the hobby.
Yeah.
Okay. Even if it's as simple as Void Weavers are broken good, I'm buying 9. Oh, they put the points up by double for each of them. I now physically can't fit them in a list.
Yeah.
Right? That's still screwing people over. You could argue that an individual is trying to break the system there, and Games Workshop have just fixed it, granted, but they have screwed people over. They've released something that you've then purchased based on what they've done, and then they've changed it. At least in those circumstances, in that particular circumstance, the Void Weaver thing specifically, you can look at that as a reasonable human and go, I understand why they've done what they've done.
Yeah.
Right? And I will often sit here and go, it's your fault for realising it's broken and buying 9 of them.
Yeah.
So in that regard, the communication is pretty key. We have realised that this was far too undercosted, and we have now released them in... we have now changed their rules or changed their points to make them more in line with what they should be. Right? Okay, perfect. Beautiful. The biggest problem I have with today is the way in which it's done, the way in which it's communicated.
Yeah.
This laissez-faire attitude of, don't fucking worry, you can still use them, stop moaning. Like, I really hate that. That's the big problem for me, right? They fucked over a lot of people to the sum of, like I said, hundreds of thousands of pounds, probably more, and they've just gone, it's only tournaments, so you'll be all right.
Yeah.
And it just is, and it's just and the other thing that really gets me about it, the other thing that really actually does really wind me up is their complete disconnect from their actual customer base.
Yeah.
Like, companies who rely on customers to run their business should probably be a little bit more in tune with said customers.
Yeah.
Ultimately, right? Anyway, Big Bad Peter Gamer, thank you for the tea. What armies are you using on Saturday? We are using Space Marines and Tyranids.
Yeah.
Which one did you want to be? Don't look over there, Joe.
That's my deciding face.
Oh, okay. You want to be Tyranids?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be Space
I always
Marines.
do that when I think about stuff. I'm thinking right now.
Oh my god.
I was just looking at the dog.
Yes, okay, brilliant. That's your...
The dog makes the decisions for me and tells me.
Fucking hell.
Psychically.
Don't worry, it's not as bad as the loose leak, so you'll be fine.
I'm done saying sorry for that. I'm not
What's that?
feeling bad anymore.
The loose leak.
What's
wet the bed?
really lucky about it, Joe, is that it happened completely in private, so
Yeah.
hardly anyone knows.
I definitely wasn't on stream in front of 300, 400 people.
Eh.
Cass, thank you for the tea. You're not going to be a mod.
See, he's asked Mum. Mum said no, so now he's gone to Dad.
He fucking... Well, I made him a mod once because he really wants to be a mod on the channel, and I made him a mod once.
Woody says I need to check out Battle Pug.
What?
The comic book called Battle Pug.
It's not a thing. So I made him a mod once, Joe, and then what he did is he just fucking basically timed out everyone. I had no chat left.
Oh.
Like, Cass is like, I'm fucking talking, people. Like, time out everyone else, and then I can get all my words in. That's what happens. Nah. Right, anyway. Okay, we've had enough. Luke, Joe and I need to finish our tea.
Hang on.
Oh, okay.
Battle Pug.
Carl, I'm not babysitting your kids.
There will Carl Super Secret Projects coming, right?
Oh my god.
Which is South Coast. Have you found Battle Pug?
Yeah. Or I can get a little model of a pug with a backpack. There's a barbarian riding a pug.
Andre, can you pan the camera over? Absolutely not. Our cameras, when we go live, the cameras are very strategic. I'm
Like Conan riding a pug.
The cameras are very strategically placed when we go live, and I need to make sure no one ever moves the camera, because if a camera moves a certain direction for a lot of the streams that we do throughout the year, I would be in breach of NDA, because this is my working desk. So I have to make sure that you can't see the side of my desk here, and you can't see the side of my desk there, and you can't see behind me on the floor. I have to make sure all those things you can't see, because it gets to a point where I'm like, I don't know what is and isn't under fucking NDA sometimes. Right? What about Battlescribe dying again? Yeah, I saw that comment today.
Yeah, like
About the developer not doing anything with it, basically.
yeah. So like it'll take longer to get the rules out. Therefore, they might just give up.
Oh, also, John says, also GW stamps. Royal Mail contacted me like 2 or 3 weeks ago asking if I would like a copy of the limited edition Warhammer 40,000 stamps.
What did you say?
I said yes.
Oh, lovely.
And the irony is not lost on me that they're late being delivered.
Do you know what the best news about today is that's come out?
What's that?
So we're about to receive a Jackie Chan and John Cena buddy cop movie.
Is that good news?
It's gonna be amazing.
Is it?
It's gonna be so good. Although I don't know how we're gonna be able to see one of them.
Why?
John Cena's invisible, isn't he? Can't see him. They could just pretend that he's there.
Yeah. We don't talk too much about Super Secret Project, but it'll have fucking legends. It will absolutely have Legends of Steve, absolutely, yeah. And it is moving, people. It is actually starting to move. There will potentially be a time where we can have a Liam and Joe show that isn't stood behind the garage table. We'll have a nice actual smoking jackets, big chairs. Yeah. Wingbacks, big wingback chairs, Joe.
Yeah?
Yeah, and
Is that like at the library?
Yeah, like a fireplace in the background.
Ooh.
That'd be good, that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'd need to do some market research for you.
Can I have one of those chairs? It's like an egg that hangs by a chain.
That's not a wingback chair.
An
That's by a
egg
fireplace,
chair?
is it?
Yeah.
Hanging by a chain?
From the ceiling. And it's like a big ball you kind of sit in.
You're about a fucking sex swing, Joe. What are you talking about?
No.
No, we can't have a sex swing in the studio, Joe. Especially,
Stop trying to push for it.
especially after the way that you demonstrated sex on Tuesday. I can't take too many of them, Joe. Savage that was. Absolutely savage. I can't take that. Cass, I give you the 5. I was young and reckless back then. Older and wiser now. We learn from some odd mistakes.
Yeah.
Whoa,
So you could be a mod, but you have access to no mouse or keyboard.
Yes. Yeah. Or you can't use your hands. You've got to try and click it with your nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or your eyeballs.
He'll come back to fix the program just enough for his cash cow to keep making him money. That's exactly what he'll do. 100% that's what he'll do. Battlescribe won't die because he wants the passive income. There's no way Battlescribe will die. He'll just do the bare minimum to make sure you guys can keep using it, right? Anyway, we're going to call it there. Slowly but surely, Dave and John's memberships are being given out, though, right? So I can update this
Slowly.
to the 250 that is currently showing me on the YouTube homepage for my stream.
Like a member's mold.
So they will eventually, I think 1, 2, 3, 4 of Dave's have been gifted out. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of John's have been gifted out. So thank you, people. There's another 8, 9 to go, which is amazing. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much. However, it is also 26 past 10. We are about to finish the stream. She's not paying any attention to me at all, Joe.
Oh, sorry.
But Luce is present.
Can I have an interesting fact today?
They're all interesting. They're all interesting.
We had a great fact last night, Jay.
Oh, yeah.
Last night, you weren't here for it. Last night's fact,
Yeah.
in space, a fart smells of, what was it, batteries and something?
No, diesel and barbecues.
Diesels and barbecues.
No,
in
not
space.
diseases and barbecues.
Diesel.
But why?
But you can't.
Because it's burning stars.
But Joe, you can't smell in space because you'd fucking die.
What about if you're in a spaceship?
Well, then does a fart smell as bad in a spaceship? Is it the oxygen that gives it
Flavour.
odor?
Flavour.
Yeah.
Makes it chewy.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Right. We'll give us some time
Okay.
to find a fact.
Yeah.
Do we pay for Battlescribe? We don't pay for Battlescribe, but you can pay for Battlescribe.
I pay for Battlescribe.
You can do extra things with it if you pay for it, like you can name units and stuff like that. More importantly, if you do pay for Battlescribe, it's a small fee, but it makes it ad-free for 12 months, and that's basically the revenue that you make. So if you think about the amount of people that use Battlescribe who also fucking hate ads, the amount of people out there that have YouTube Premium just so they don't ever see an ad when they watch a video or a stream. I honestly pay for YouTube Premium just because I this is a genuinely true story, Jay. I took the YouTube Premium free trial for a month, whatever it was. And I'm an avid YouTube watcher. And I had been an avid YouTube watcher forever before that. And I just watched the adverts. I had YouTube Premium for a month. And then eventually it ran out. And I was like, I don't need to pay 12 quid for YouTube Premium. Within about a day, I turned it back on.
I was like, Battlescribe.
Wait,
I'd paid for Battlescribe for like 3 years in the running. And then I was like, I don't really use Battlescribe that much. Sometimes I do, but like adverts can't be that bad.
Yeah.
And it ended one day because it had been telling me for weeks that like, oh, it's going to run out, like update it. I never did. I used it for 20 minutes.
And then
with
you
adverts. So I was like, I can't. This is unusual. I was like, I don't know how people use this for free. So I paid the like £2.
No, it's not expensive. Yeah, absolutely.
I pay.
It's like £2 for a year or whatever, isn't it? Or something like that. Or,
Yeah. Which is like a third of the price of paying for the Warhammer Plus app for a month.
Yeah.
Which I still pay for. I don't know why.
Are you ready, Joe? Lucy's ready over there now. Are you ready?
Pteronophobia is the fear of being tickled by feathers. I don't know what life you lead where you have a constant fear that people are waiting for you to walk past them and then you get tickled by feathers.
What?
Are you a pillow stuffer? Are you a...
Why did that need a name, though? Like, why does everything have to have a like? There will be a name for is the fear of having pineapples shoved up your bottom. That would be a fear.
There'll be a fear for that.
There's a fear of. There's the fear of knowing that somehow, somewhere, a duck is watching you. That's got a name.
Yeah, all these things have got phobia names. And I don't understand it.
I learned that from Farscape, I think, many years ago.
There you go. You had a loose fact. You're getting bonus loose facts this week. Aren't you all lucky? Is there a different name for the fear of being tickled by something other than feathers? Absolutely there is, yes. Absolutely there is. Right.
And anatodophobia is the fear that a duck may be watching you.
That's a real thing?
Yeah.
What fear is it?
Anatodophobia?
Anatodophobia.
Yeah, it's the fear that a duck may be watching you.
Yeah. What is the rarest phobia?
If that's your fear, then you're pretty quackers.
Archaeopterophobia.
A what? Again, please, Joe?
Archaeopterophobia.
Spider bums.
Arachnophobia.
ARACHIBUT.
Arakibu.
Is the B silent?
Like the F in Dominoes.
Do you know what do you reckon that's the fear of?
Say it one more
Spiders'
time.
bums.
One more time.
A spider twerking.
Arachnophobia.
This is the fear of a spider twerking.
No, it's the fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth.
Well, that's an inevitability if you're eating it.
That's not a fear. That's joy. That.
So
People have said you're forgetting that ducks are spies as well, Joe. The government drones. Remember.
if it flies, it spies.
If it flies, it spies.
Nomophobia.
Being too hungry.
NOMO phobia.
Yeah, being too hungry. Nom nom nom.
Yeah. So, the fear of being without your mobile phone.
I mean the
that's
whole
a real
human race has
fear.
that right now.
Yeah.
Arithmophobia.
Have you
Oh,
seen the
maths? No.
Have you
It's the fear of numbers.
seen
Oh.
the fear in chat?
With the fear that King George will listen to you.
Hippopotamonstrous quidripedelophobia.
Is
The fear of long words.
Games Workshop doesn't have this. Plutophobia.
Mystic says, do not Google fear of pineapple up your anus.
right. We're done. We're now overtime.
But none of these words, some of these don't even make sense. Plutophobia.
The fear of Pluto.
It's the fear of Disney cartoons.
No. Fear of money.
Oh. That's
Money phobia.
currency phobia or...
I reckon that's what people that play Warhammer 40k have.
Ablutophobia.
Bluetooth?
Ablut.
Oh.
Ablutophobia.
Ablutions, the fear of toilets?
Painted Dawn
The
says.
fear of bathing.
Yeah, because you're ablutions.
Painted Dawn says, do women get chode phobia?
You get that when you get married.
Right, you beautiful people. You've been treated to another episode of The Thruple. Now, I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Hit that like button if you haven't already. You guys are incredible. The super chats, the memberships, the gifted memberships have all been a little bit overwhelming today. So thank you so much for supporting the stream. Yeah. I've said this to you guys before. I'll say it again. When the new month starts, it's always nerve-wracking for the first half. Where we're like, are we going to make enough to pay the bills next month? And then the second half, we typically get to relax a little bit. Things like this help massively tonight. So thank you so much. You guys are amazing. We love you all very much. All of you. Every single one of you. If you have been gifted a membership, if you haven't been a member before, !Discord, come and join us in the Great Hall. In the new member welcome section, it will show you how to link your Discord and your YouTube accounts together to make sure that you do get full access to the Discord. And then please try and use it. It's amazing, right? It's incredible. It's full of incredible people in Starius. What?
VT phobia.
Yeah, well, that's just logic. So, thank you so much. Don't forget, tomorrow is a double stream day.
Double ender.
So tomorrow at 4 p.m. we'll be live with the brand new 10th edition 40k rulebook, and that will be positive. Tomorrow night at 9:30 we'll come back for 40k After Dark, where we're just going to drink mead and chat bollocks. And then on Saturday morning, Joe and I are back. I'm just missing out words now. Joe and I are back, and Chris is on the deck as we have a very special live game of 40k. Ooh.
Can't tell you what it is though.
Do your noise. Ooh. Good, right. That's everything. Lisa, anything you want to say before we go?
Nope.
Okay, Joe?
No.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye, have a wonderful time.